What's up, listener? Thanks for pressing play on this episode of the Jock and Nerd podcast. You won't believe how many people came out to protest outside of Warner Brothers for a Justice League director's cut. The Black Panther hype is real with a new trailer and strong ticket pre-sales. We got our first official image of Tom Hardy from Venom. Yes, they're actually making this movie. And Fox shakes up the release dates of this year's X-Men movies. Plus, why is Jumanji killing it at the box office? And our sins and wins for 2017, and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, January 11th, 2018.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jockin', be nerded. Be funny, disturbing. Jockin', be nerded. Spoiler alert. Oh yeah! Jockin', be nerded. Be funny, disturbing. Oh yeah! Jockin', be nerded. Spoiler alert. Give it up one time.
Hi-yo, listener. What's up? How's it going? Welcome to the one and only Jock and Nerd podcast. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Rugboy.
He's the Rugboy.
And he's the nerd.
Yay, what's up? Yes, Anthony, the Jock is out. If you are a first-time listener, you may be a little confused. You may probably have a couple of questions. Rugs, they may be asking themselves, one, what is this fucking show about?
Okay.
And two, where's the Jock? It says Jock and Nerd Podcast on the cover art.
He gets top billing for some reason.
He does. I don't know how that happened.
Does the least amount of work on the show.
He's the one who
gets top billing.
And he suggested the name, and I just went along with it. Very sneaky. Very sneaky. I see what happened. Well, look, let's answer these questions. Number one, new listener, what is the show about? Well, we have a great tagline, thanks to listener John Seifert from last episode. Modification. If you subscribe to the show, listener, every week, you're going to get comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. Which can mean sometimes there's an interview, sometimes there's rants, sometimes there's whatever we choose. That's what it's called, whatever we choose.
Yeah, whatever the fuck we want. Then
whatever
rhyme.
the fuck we want. Thank you to John Seifert for that tagline. I love it. We're going to run with it. Number two, where's the Jock? Well, last week he told us he's going on this cruise.
It's like an EDM cruise or something.
It is an EDM cruise called Holy Ship. And I Googled pictures of this fucking holy ship, and holy shit.
Oh, shit.
This is a giant boat, and it's just a party on the boat. Just Google holy ship. There's fucking half-naked girls everywhere. And half-naked men also, and lasers and lights. And I hope he remembers the cruise when he comes back.
I wonder if they have times up on that thing. Do they?
What
is there times up on the EDM cruise?
I think the amount of Molly counteracts the times up. Yeah, no? Are they all wearing black? Is there a hashtag times up for the EDM cruise? So here's what I wanted to do. I haven't heard from Anthony since he left. I thought we should check his Snapchat. Now, this is something I know Anthony would not approve of.
Can you give me a link to that?
No.
I can't see
I will describe it because I know he's not going to like this, but I don't know if there's anything on here. I haven't checked. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look. And if there is, I will pump it through. Oh, you know what? He's smart. I don't see any snaps. I think there were snaps earlier. They may have disappeared, which is what the snaps do.
They expire.
They expire. So it's very smart. I think I did look earlier and it was a pan of a boat and there was a party and there was lasers and it was just what you would expect. So Anthony, buddy, hope you're having fun on the Holy Ship EDM podcast.
How many STDs is he getting?
All of them.
Oh, shit.
If you come back with less than 12, Anthony, you did not have a good time. Plus, if you come back and can remember most of it, I think you also
Dude, he's going to be going into midlife crisis mode. He just hit 30.
Yes, dirty 30, and he's trying to squeeze in what last...
His dick's going to fall off.
trying to get a little more strange in there.
He's going to have to borrow mine.
Detachable penis. Hey, if you are a new listener, here's what we're going to do this show. We got a bunch of news. We didn't do news last week. A lot of interesting things broke in the last few days. We got some trailers, some new release dates, some first looks, some release dates that have moved of movies that are coming out soon. So a lot of exciting stuff. And then a second half, we're going to do something Rugboy suggested. Rugs, what are we doing second half to this show?
Well, I wanted to do like the best of and the worst of, but everybody does that. So we're going to do sins and wins.
Yeah, oh yeah. And like, last week, if you check out last week's show, because we ranked the superhero movies of 2017, that's always fun to do, but we just talked about movies, and man, there's a lot more to the geekosphere than movies last year. So it's a little bit of excuse to talk a little bit about TV, and then whatever else happened, and a lot of things happened. So sins and wins of 2017. I love that idea, Ruggs. Thanks for contributing, actually.
Yeah, I do stuff every once in a while.
Thanks for doing something that made it easy for me. And listener, if you got a new device for the holiday season, maybe you got a home speaker or an Alexa or a new iPhone, make sure you subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. Grab your friend's new phone. If it's an iPhone, he's got the podcast app. Just subscribe them. Don't even tell them. If you got an Android, you can hit us up on Spotify. Visit jockandnerd.com for all the places you can find the show. And show notes for this episode will be at jockandnerd.com/203. It will have links to everything we're going to talk about. Very fun. Ruggs, let's get to the news.
Do it.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Also, if you want to get in touch with us, this is a two-way show, listener. Now, you may have listened to some other big podcasts like your Joe Rogans, your NPR serials, S-Town. They're great shows, high production. But if you think about it, those are one-way podcasts, Ruggs. They never talk about their listeners. They never interact. They never read listener email. And I want to know every listener by name. And we are on our way to get there. So visit jockandnerd.com/contact for all the ways you can get in touch. Our Twitter, our Facebook, our awesome Facebook group, SpeakPipe. You could send us audio. This is a two-way show, people. Shout out, hit us up back. I got to welcome new person to the Facebook group. Welcome, huge welcome to Gianendra Dubey.
Whoa, is that a dude or
well, it's funny that you asked that because this is another situation where I did a little cyber stalking and I'm looking at the pictures and all the pictures have a man and a woman.
So maybe it's like a combined thing.
Here's what I know.
The Wonder Twins.
No, I think I've learned my lesson from the Jess Rivera incident. I'm just going to assume it's the guy. And so this is an Indian couple. The guy is from India. Bilhai, India. So, Janendra, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. I'm going to assume you are the male in the two photos this time. I got a 50-50 shot. Let's see. Maybe I'm right.
If you're wrong this time, you think it's the guy this time, and it's really the woman, that'll be funny.
I can't catch a break. Welcome to the Facebook group. All right, let's start with a little tiny bit of Star Wars news because we did our Last Jedi review, and it's made it's like at $1.2 billion, The Last Jedi worldwide. Han Solo, a Star Wars story spinoff, is scheduled to come out in just about 4 months, Ruggs.
Wow, that's fucking fast.
It's fast. Now, here's the weird thing. We don't have a poster. We haven't seen any images, really. There's no trailer for a movie that's coming out in May.
You know why?
Why is this?
They just finished it. They have no idea like what this movie is yet.
This movie is so weird. So if you've been following the story, listener, here it is. Lord and Millar, hired to direct this movie years ago, got all the way through filming. They were 5 weeks away from finishing filming the movie. They get fired by Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Replaced by the Ron Howard, who reportedly reshoots 80% of the movie. And now it's come out that they're doing reshoots on the reshoots.
Oh, shit.
Which I figured that would happen, definitely.
Yeah, because I think he reshot the whole movie at the 11th hour, and these second reshoots are like first reshoots on the movie because they remade the whole fucking movie in a matter of months. So this movie is crazy. I don't know. Give us a trailer.
Ends up being awesome?
It could be. I have a feeling this is going to be the first Star Wars movie that's like a big fucking disaster.
Like, I don't know if it could be I don't know. This is what happens. Like, people think that Rogue One is a shit show. I liked it.
I love
The
Rogue
Last
One.
Jedi I didn't like, and everybody loves it.
Yeah.
So what if I like this one?
The way it's trending, I'm into these spin-off movies more so far. Because they do have the feel of the old school, they're all set before in that old school period, and that's kind of what I like about them. But the story of this movie, like this is turning into like a Warner Brothers situation where this is going to be a fucking weird Justice League.
They got to
type
put it out,
thing.
though. They just got to put it out. It'll make some money.
They have to put it out, or they could push back the release date. We'll get into that in a little bit.
What if they're being brilliant?
What if this is all reverse marketing psychology?
No, I mean, like, what if they're like, hey, the only way we can recoup this money from this movie is to not advertise it at all. And
you know what? I think I had this thought
there's
today.
$100 million to market a movie.
So I had this thought. That's funny you say that. I had this thought. I don't know what I was watching, but I was like, I would love someone to do an experiment. You're making this movie. Don't put anything out. Put out one trailer a month before.
Doesn't J.J. Abrams do that for like Cloverfield and everything?
Yeah, and that's it. Nothing else. Just one trailer. It could be like the old school experience of going to a movie and not knowing anything about it. The way it used to be before the interwebs. You know what? Lucasfilm, try that. Let's experiment with that. Kathleen Kennedy, she listens to the show. She subscribed. Let's try this experiment with Solo because clearly you guys are ready to just fucking wipe your hands and cut your losses on this movie anyways. Don't put out anything. Maybe don't even put out a trailer.
I think they should just put the movie out and then maybe like send promos for like access, like all the entertainment shows that are going to run it regardless without you paying them.
Definitely don't preview it for the fucking reviewers a week before.
Yeah,
that's
just
not going to happen.
Put it out and see what happens.
Wouldn't that be interesting? It just comes out without any fanfare, no promotion, no marketing.
How much does it cost to put a trailer out on YouTube? Nothing.
And you're right. Marketing budgets are almost as much as the making the fucking movie.
Right.
So now that you've remade this movie already and sunk more money, you can't promote it. Just fucking put it out.
Like, all they have to do is go on their website, upload a bunch of posters, and within 2 days, they'll be all over the internet on all the nerd sites that will just be like, the new poster is released. Like, if I was the head of marketing, I'd be like, dude, the only way we can recoup this money that we're losing on this movie is by not doing any marketing for it. We have to, think about guerrilla marketing.
We can't do marketing. Yeah, and then just put out the posters a week before the movie comes out. Who cares? Fucking May 25th, this movie, I think it's coming out the end of May. So, I don't know. This is going to be so fascinating.
May's kind of a wild way, though. They could pump it up.
It does make me want to be there opening day to see this thing because now, like, what is this? What is this movie? This is going to be interesting.
But if they decide to do that, it'd be genius.
Experiment. Just buck the trend, Disney. All right, let's move on to a little bit of DC movie news. This is a great story. There was a Zack Snyder fan, bunch of Zack Snyder fans, organized a planned protest outside.
How many do you think they were?
Hold on, outside Warner Brothers headquarters in Burbank. They were going to show up, make a lot of noise to demand an extended director's cut of Justice League. They want to make it clear to the studio that they want to see Zack Snyder's version. This protest leading up to this day received a lot of attention online. It's fair to say many people, hundreds of people, if not millions of people heard about this, Ruggs, right?
Right.
So what happens? The day comes around and all this results in a grand total of 13 people.
That's a lot more than I thought.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Not 13,000, not 1,300. 13 people showed up.
So our entire listener base showed up.
Yes, everyone who listens to this show.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. And there's a picture on Twitter with the fucking 13 of them. Hashtag release the Snyder cut. Here's the funniest thing, though, Ruggs. They did this on a Saturday when none of the studio executives are at work.
Oh, shit.
I wonder if we can get more people to show up there than Zack Snyder.
I think we should do an opposite protest and just we should release the whole Joss Whedon version or something. I don't know.
How many fans do you think we got in California that would do it?
We have lots of listenership in California. You know what? Had we arranged
Definitely
this,
more than 13.
we could have at least doubled We could have doubled this showing. So good for you, 13 fans. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm glad it worked out. There is a rumor that we could get a Justice League extended cut with, get this, a whopping 15 minutes extra added to the movie, which should
it's probably all the cyborg shit or something.
It could be, and we saw, just put in that cyborg backstory. 15 minutes.
It would help Cyborg out just a little bit.
It'll help him out. Not going to save the movie, regardless of what anybody thinks.
Put the Aquaman shit and the Cyborg shit back in, and then at least that.
We put the shit that was in the trailers back in the movie. That could be a start.
Yeah.
It might help.
Obviously, you got to steer clear of any Superman shit because of the super lip. But
well, can you put old Superman footage back in now?
You could, but I don't know why they wouldn't do that in the first place.
That's true. If they had anything working, they would have already used it, wouldn't they? Wow, what a mess that movie was. Okay, moving on to the MCU. Listen, we're a month out from Black Panther. The hype is real. The revolution will not be televised.
It'll be in a movie theater.
It's going to be in the movie theater. And during some college football sport thing that happened, they premiered a new trailer, Ruggs. Did you see this new trailer, or you stopped watching trailers?
No, I think I saw it.
This trailer's pretty badass. It's a lot of what we've seen with
a lot of lumpy Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's got bumps all over.
Yeah, he's very bumpy.
You can see that a lot of the CGI is better. You can see a little more dialogue with what's his face in the beginning, Andy Serkis, going, "You're telling me there's the King of Wakanda runs around in a Black Panther suit?" And he's like, you could ask him. But, dude, the Afro-futuristic tech, like these ships, these flying ships, like the tech looks amazing. It's so sci-fi heavy. It's beautiful. Like, I don't know if I was expecting this much sci-fi with these colors and this Afro-futurism is amazing.
I just think that it's just it's crazy. It's great. I think, though, that it'd be so hard to keep that a secret. All that crazy cool shit.
Well, yeah, how did anybody... I mean, clearly, T'Challa is, like, way richer than fucking Tony Stark and has better tech, it looks like, than Tony Stark.
He's, like, way more cool than Tony Stark will ever be. Way cooler,
yes. How come nobody... Well, but they've been secretive on purpose, because we're going to find out what happens when they're outed. Kind of like the Amazons in Wonder Woman. And this movie, like, it kind of reminds me of Wonder Woman, because it's going to be that socially important as Wonder Woman was.
Right, but hopefully it's a better movie than Wonder Woman.
But yes, and I think it will be a better movie. Speaking of which, here's how we know the hype is real. It is highest grossing out pre-sale movie, advanced ticket Marvel movie yet. It has outsold the Civil War early sale. This thing is in 24 hours best-selling MCU title in the first 24 hours of pre-sales. So that's exciting, and it kind of makes me wonder if I should get tickets right now.
It'd probably be a good idea.
So I wanted to do, since we got this hype and it's the pre-sale is huge. What do you think it's going to open to? Let's do opening weekend predictions.
What day does it open on?
Okay, so here's some factors to consider. It's opening February 16th. So February release, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. In comparison, Deadpool was that 2016 February release opened to $132 million.
Okay. It's going to blow that out of the water.
Really? Okay, so solo origin Marvel movies, the highest is Iron Man, $98 million opening.
That'll blow that away.
For the first movie.
Yeah.
The highest Spider-Man Homecoming, 117 is high, so that's higher than Iron Man. You think it's gonna blow that away?
I think.
What? Give me a number.
One weekend, I think it'll do 130, 140.
I'm thinking that's the number I had in mind, 135. People, I've seen predictions from everywhere from like 85, 95 to like 150. I think it's gonna do a lot more because if it's outselling Civil War, now Civil War came out in May, right? That opened to 179.
This is what I think. I think that this movie is going to hopefully be a more serious movie.
Yes.
I think it has to be.
Yes.
Because it's like you're doing the biggest, African American superhero movie that's been done in a long time.
With a black cast, a black director, and yes.
So if it's one of those jokey movies.
No, look, we gave us 3 comedies last year, Marvel. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna make that mistake.
So if it has some weight to it, I think that people are gonna be like they're gonna give you that whole like Civil War vibe, or like this shit is you got to see this,
Absolutely,
or and it's
absolutely.
gonna spread like wildfire, and people are gonna go crazy for it.
That's why I think, despite the opening weekend, I think it's going to have legs. I see people going back to see this over and over again. February is also Black History Month, so it's just a great tie-in. And this is something, if you're a black kid who's been reading comics since you were a kid, if you're my age, you've been waiting for this, your whole life. This is like if there's a Kamala Khan movie, dude. This is like me watching The Big Sick. Finally, somebody put my life on the screen. It's very exciting, and I think it can make a lot of money. And it's the movie right before Infinity War, so I think it needs to be a little bit serious.
This is a good message to be sent out to the world.
Yeah,
that it's like people want a good hero, and they don't care where they're from or what their nationality is. And like, of course, there's a lot of people that are gonna go see this movie because they feel like that's representing them. But I think a lot of people just want to see this movie. Period.
Yeah,
and that's a sign of unity. That all these tickets are being sold. That all these people are clamoring for this movie. That I'm interested in this movie to this degree. That you're interested in this movie to this degree. So it's kind of a proof that, like, we're not as divided as we seem.
No, and it kind of feels like the right time for this movie. Like, the timing seems perfect to get hyped up for this.
It's going to do fucking great numbers, hopefully.
I can't wait. I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for the soundtrack because all the trailers have had amazing music. I loved the Run the Jewels. Legend has it that they use. I got an article here. Kendrick Lamar to produce Black Panther, the album, which, wow, that's contemporary. Anthony's going to make fun of me, but I'm like, that's fucking hip. That's now. What a great choice. And they put out a first track with Kendrick Lamar and SZA, which is like the RZA, but with an S, but it's a girl. It's called All the Stars, and you can check it out on Spotify. It's a pretty good track, man. Like, I think this soundtrack is going to be dope.
Is it tied into Black Panther, or is it just like a song that's on the soundtrack?
This is going to be a song that's on a soundtrack. A lot of like a current hip hop song. So it's not. Yeah, okay. It's a soundtrack. It's not
like when you got the Crow soundtrack. Like a lot of the songs were written with the Crow in mind.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Or will they be used in the movie? They're using them in the trailers.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, if you went and bought, like, let's say, this is a bad example, like the Godzilla 1998 soundtrack. Like, there was literally, like, a Green Day song with Godzilla, like, roaring through it.
Okay, that's a little much.
Yeah, and there was, like, then, like, P. Diddy did, like, a song with Godzilla in it as well. It's like, and, did the cover of, with the riff from Led Zeppelin. So
yeah, I don't think it's like Bobby Brown doing the song for Ghostbusters 2.
Okay, so
this is actual. Although I did like that song, it was huge in whatever year they came out. This is gonna be. It's Kendrick Lamar. It's gonna be some fucking good hip hop. So I'm excited for the soundtrack. And then there's one final Black Panther story I thought was really touching. The Boys and Girls Club of Harlem set up a GoFundMe to take all the inner city kids to see the movie Black Panther. They wanted $10,000. They raised $38,183.
Right.
In 6 days.
That's cool.
It says help children see Black Panther. That's fucking great. Like, I think this is why this movie is going to be so important and so special for so many people.
Yeah, get out there and go see it. If you can go find a kid that wants to see it and take him.
Absolutely. Like, I can't wait. It's going to be, the hype is so crazy. Here's some more hype. This story broke yesterday, for like 10 years now, ever since we saw Scarlett Johansson play the Black Widow in Iron Man 2.
Right.
We wanted a Black Widow movie.
Right.
And now, DC beat Marvel to the punch with Wonder Woman. But not only DC, other movies like Atomic Blonde, that could have been a Black Widow movie.
Right.
There's this Red Sparrow movie with Jennifer Lawrence. Have you seen this trailer?
Yeah, there's a Femme Nikita. There's 1,000 movies that the Black Widow is.
This should have been the Black Widow movie. What are you waiting for? It looks like it's gaining a little bit of momentum. They have a writer.
Okay.
That's all, though. So it's still, Marvel has this plan.
There is a movie that's in production, so that's something.
There is a movie. It's it's production. All they have is a writer. The writer is Zach Schaefer. It's a woman. Jack. Sorry, how do you say this? J-A-C is her first name.
It sounds like Jack, maybe Jacqueline. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, short for Jacqueline. That's interesting that she shortened it maybe to appear like S.E. Hinton.
Yes.
People don't know it's a woman, but she wrote the script called Nasty Women, which is a female-centric reboot of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Okay.
And she's been tapped to write it. So, yay, there's some movement.
Yeah.
Is it too little too late for the MCU, though?
Not really, but like it's just kind of like she's not really a superhero per se.
Right.
She is a hero, but like she's kind of like a human being.
Yes.
And she doesn't wear like a cool suit like Batman or have like, she has cool toys, I guess, but like it's just not as theatrical as like something like Wonder Woman is,
Right, but you look at like Red Sparrow, which is R-rated, but that's the story of a young girl who's indoctrinated into a spy.
There's been like Hannah, there's all these movies that are about these young girls somewhere in Eastern Europe or Russia that are trained from children and brainwashed and to be killers and all that stuff. So that background like that Black Widow has been, it's been a trope for years.
So like even if they make that movie, like will it even be relevant? We've seen that before.
It just won't be like as shiny and new as something like Wonder Woman.
I had a couple of thoughts. It also depends when in the MCU you are planning to put this out. Are you going to do this after Avengers 4? Can you use this to recast Black Widow, as we do know her contract's running out soon? Maybe this is the movie where you transition to a new Widow. That could be something different.
Yeah.
I mean, it would suck for Scarlett Johansson to finally get a Black Widow movie, and it's the movie where, she's passing it on to the next Widow. Does she even need to be in the movie? Maybe it's an origin with a different, a younger person playing her. I don't know.
Well, all these things will be answered, but I mean, she's the person who puts the asses in the seats. She's the big name, right? So.
Yeah, but you know what? The big name doesn't always work. And while she's been Black Widow, she's made Lucy.
Yeah.
And she's made Ghost in the Shell.
Right.
Both of these movies didn't really put the butts in the seats, though, like they wanted.
Yes, because I think that there's this argument where I think that the star power doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it doesn't, except for a certain movie, which we will get to after the break, that's making a lot of money and is number one at the movie theaters right now. Mm-hmm. It proves a very interesting point about the state of blockbuster cinema.
Star power doesn't mean what it used to mean. And like, let's say everybody loves Robert Downey Jr., right? As Iron Man.
Right.
But without Iron Man, he's not going to open a huge movie. Like, it has to be the combination of the property and the actor in the perfect marriage.
In that case, it was both. They each made each other,
Yeah, like if you took like Robert Downey Jr., put him in another movie, it's not going to make as much as Iron Man. Like he did Sherlock Holmes,
right?
He did two of them. They did okay.
Yep.
But I mean, he can't just start making properties. Tom Cruise's star. He's getting old, and that's starting. He doesn't have a draw anymore. So like the days of where you throw Arnold Schwarzenegger in any movie and everybody goes, it's number one at the box office that weekend.
Yep.
Those days are over where you just go to see the star.
Yeah.
Because no one cared about what the movie was about. You just wanted to see Arnold's big muscles.
So maybe you make this like a mini Avengers standalone Widow, like Hawkeye, and maybe like you bring in some other side character and make it kind of an ensemble Black Widow movie.
I think what I'm trying to say is that the era where these people, these movies are so expensive and these celebrities are making so much money, why are we paying them so much money when they can't just open a movie on their star power alone? Why are they getting paid like $10, $15 million when it's really the character and that actor together making the box office draw?
It's that perfect match now, yeah.
So you think that like they couldn't get another person besides Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man now that Iron Man's propped up?
I don't know. I always, it is at
because
least
the Spider-Man movies all make money and they had all different people be Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man, of course.
It's the character, and they have they got to match the person. Matt Delhauer posted something on our Facebook group, which is going to lead into our next story. Of course, Delhauer of the forthcoming podcast, the Ginger Geek Pod, everyone's favorite
Why
ginger.
Why do we call it podcasting? No one listens to iPods anymore.
No, people don't even have iPods anymore.
Yeah, so why don't we just call it audio casts?
Audio web series show.
Web shows, yeah.
Semantics, Rugs. It doesn't matter what it's called, but I do think that's interesting because you don't like when you recommend a book in the title of the book, say, oh, I got to read Catcher in the Rye book. Like, it's a book. You don't have to say what it is. Anyways, Delhauer posts this. He posted an image of all the movies coming out next year. And he wrote, another reason I still don't believe a Venom movie will happen. Of all the 2018 superhero movies coming out, it is the only one we have not seen any sort of images, trailers, or anything for, and it releases in 9 months. That's a good point. Similar to the Han Solo movie. We have this thing from that Brazil, or is this the Russian is this Sao Paulo comic book convention? It's a V with kind of a...
Is this Russian?
Is this Russian? CCXP. I thought it was Russian.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon. It's a cool graphic of Venom with a V, and it says, we are #Venom, which was... So that's all we've had this whole time. Until articles coming out, oh shit, first official Venom image reveals Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock.
Geek boner.
And I get all excited and I click on the photo. And what is it? It's a picture of Tom Hardy in a blue suit, in a blue shirt. That's all.
Wow.
It is, right? This is what people are getting excited. This is the image you give us it's just Tom Hardy with I guess he's a reporter. There's a reporter's notebook and he's got a blue shirt on. Great. Look, a lot of people don't think this movie's coming out. This movie has Michelle Williams, Woody Harrelson, Riz Ahmed, and I'm really excited for it. And somebody zoomed in. So on this picture, you see his notebook there? Somebody zoomed into his notebook. This person had a lot of time on his hands, but I'm glad they did. So it gives you a little confirmation about the rumors of this movie that we already knew, but it kind of confirms it. In the book, there's a question that says, how exactly does the Life Foundation go about testing its pharmaceuticals? What about the allegations your empire is built on? And then it says, you recruit the most vulnerable of us to volunteer for the tests that end up something them. But all this confirms previous reports that Venom will be based, at least in part, on the story arc Venom Lethal Protector, where Eddie Brock makes a deal with Peter Parker. He leaves New York for San Francisco, and that's where he counters the Life Foundation. And I believe Riz Ahmed is playing like a CEO of the Life Foundation, which is like a shadowy corporate survivalist group. And this group creates the 5 horrific symbiotes forced on Venom: Scream, Phage, Riot, Lasher, and Agony. So there may be those 5 symbiotes, Venom, and maybe even a female Venom, because we heard rumors of that. But again, this movie's coming out later this year, and this is all we have. I still can't
imagine Venom without Spider-Man involved.
Well, you're gonna get
just so tied together. It's just so weird.
I mean, next year it's gonna be kind of big for Sony's Spider-Man universe, because they're doing this and they're doing the Miles Morales animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Like, what if this Venom is a continuation of the Tobey Maguire Venom?
What do you mean? This is a different Venom. They're redoing all of this. This is R-rated.
It's an Eddie Brock Venom. You're right.
It is Eddie Brock as a news reporter.
Yeah, so you're right.
They're
I don't know why I thought that. It just completely brain farted.
No. This is all. But, dude, R-rated Venom movie. Like, I'm kind of psyched for this. I'm still really confused and skeptical as to if it's even going to get made. But,
I don't even know why we're talking about this now.
Well, because Tom Hardy, R-rated Venom. That right there is interesting.
Yeah, but Tom Hardy does things that no one cares about all the time.
That's a good point.
Movies that he's been in.
But he's always good in those movies. He's always good. And I know he's a fan. I know he's got the passion. That's what I'm saying.
Just because he's Tom Hardy doesn't mean anything. I told you about star power doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it doesn't. All right, let's move on to some X-Men movie news. With the deal with Disney getting Fox, which is going to take a year to actually happen. It seems like Fox is just they got to operate as if this is not going to happen, obviously. They can't stop.
They got to just go business as usual.
However, if I worked at Fox Movies and TV, come about 12 months from now, I will be very nervous about my job security and what is still being
they got to ride it out.
You're good for a year. So X-Force still moving forward, reportedly unaffected by the Disney deal. That's fine. That's great. You could put Deadpool in there. Drew Goddard is still attached to write and direct. So, yeah, initially Fox, they're going to have to keep making shit, obviously. They can't just stop. They're not done. They don't know. The deal could not go through. Another piece of interesting news, director Tim Miller reportedly developing a Kitty Pryde solo movie.
Geek boner.
For Fox. What do you think about this? I think this could be kind of interesting on a number of levels. It's very good.
Now, she just phases through stuff.
Well, yes. Now, but the character herself in the comics, if you think about her whole career, like she came in as the teenage girl. You can make a movie where she's our point of view into the X-Men world. And then recently, Kitty Pryde has rose to the ranks of leader, and she's got her own group, and she's looked as a leader. So there's a lot you could do between there. Also, Wonder Woman, great. This is gonna be our first female-led X-Men movie, and if it's played by Ellen Page from Days of Future, I thought she made a good Kitty Pryde. I would get Ellen Page back.
I don't know. I'd go for someone else.
Really? You didn't like the Ellen Page?
I like her, but I don't know.
I think Tim Miller directing it is going to be pretty cool. You'll get some cool CGI action. But look, a solo female X-Men lead, like you want to replace your Wolverine? Could this girl be charming and relatable to replace a Wolverine?
I think you need a younger, like a Haley Steinfeld or something like that.
Yeah, you would need to start with a teenage Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
And again, she would be our way in. She'd be our point of view. I think that would work. That's kind of exciting. And the big thing that came out today, here's the craziest thing, release date shakeups. Lots of movies got shook around from the Hollywood Reporter. In what's sure to be a treat for Deadpool fans, the highly anticipated sequel to the 2016 Ryan Reynolds smash is being pushed up 2 weeks. From June 1st to May 18th.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, this move puts the action comedy against Sony's Slender Man, but more importantly, it has opening 1 week before Disney's Solo, a Star Wars movie. So think about this. In May, you're going to get Infinity War at the beginning, Deadpool 2 in the middle, and Solo at the end, all in May.
That's weird.
Okay, but that has shifted other things around. The New Mutants, Josh Boone's horror take on these heroes, the first of a trilogy of which we've seen a trailer with the Arya Stark. They're pushing this back 10 months.
Oh, shit.
The movie was supposed to come out in April of this year. It's got pushed back to February 22nd, 2019. And the reason for this, I was reading, someone said they screened it and it tested well, but they really want to double down on the horror and, kind of take on the popularity of movies like It and Get Out and double and make it a fucking scary horror movie.
That might work.
Which is interesting. Also, another reason they gave is they didn't want X-Men movies to overlap in overseas marketplaces where New Mutants and Deadpool 2 would have been in the theaters at the same time.
See, I think that the move to have Deadpool be followed by Solo is they're basically going to crush Solo.
I think so. I think they've seen that Solo is down. He's hurt. He's vulnerable. And they just
take him when he's down.
They swept in for now. I argue this. If I was Lucasfilm, I would fucking move Han Solo. You clearly need more time. You're clearly still kind of scrambling. Move it. Go move it back to a December release or even a couple of months. We may see that happen.
They can move it to wherever they want, really.
I mean, with this is like playing chess. Like Fox did these, now Disney's going to have to respond. Finally, Gambit, a movie nobody wants and nobody even knows it's being made. It's seen its release date move from February 14th, 2019 to June 7th, 2019. But not only that, the Channing Tatum vehicle just lost its director, Gore Verbinski, exited the movie today. So, yeah, this fucking movie's never getting made. Gambit,
Good.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be made.
No, I don't know.
It's an unnecessary movie.
Dude, Channing Tatum has a hard-on for the Gambit movie. I don't know. Again, like you said, star power means shit. So,
yeah,
who cares,
no one cares
that
about
Channing Tatum wants to? Clearly, nobody cares because this movie.
He's old now anyway.
Yeah. This movie's been pushed back and retooled and lost many directors. It's never going to get made. Sorry, X-Men Gambit fans. Maybe he shows up in the X-Force. That's your best bet. But we're still getting Dark Phoenix at the end of next year in October. So they didn't move that. So that was a little crazy moving around of dates.
I'm getting dizzy with all these shakeups.
Right? Last thing in movie news, Todd McFarlane is making a Spawn movie. Remember that? Do we still remember this? And you know what? I kind of like what he's doing here. He's kind of getting a chance to make a Spawn movie the way he wants to do. It's going to be low budget. It's going to be R-rated. It's going to be a horror movie. He's working with Blumhouse, who brought us the Get Out for a low budget and made a shitload of money. And he has said that in this movie, Spawn is not going to speak.
Oh, shit.
No speaking lines. This is what he said.
I find that very worrying.
Here's what he said. He told AZ Central his upcoming take on the character will be a bit different. Quote, Spawn doesn't say a word the entire movie, McFarlane said, likening the film to Jaws, with Spawn himself in the role of the shark. It's about the sheriff and the people chasing the ghost. That's it. The lead role isn't Spawn. The lead role is a cop, like Sheriff Brody from Jaws. Now, Ruggs, I thought you would like this because we've talked about how, like, some of these characters, they deserve to be like a boogeyman. Like, Spawn should be a boogeyman. He doesn't need to talk. He's the threat, and your main character is the cop trying to chase down Spawn.
I don't know. You can't really call it a Spawn movie if Spawn's not actually doing anything in the movie.
Well, look, he's also, the budget of this movie is $10 million. That's all he has to play with. So I think it's a smart move.
How much does it cost to talk?
I guess. But you know what? The less you talk, the less you see him, the less special effects it's going to happen.
All right. Whatever.
McFarlane went on to insist that the film wouldn't be a superhero movie at all, but instead a supernatural thriller like a lot of good creepy movies. So, look, he's trying to do something different, and this is like Spawn from Todd. Todd's writing and directing and producing and put up his own money. This is going to be interesting.
All right.
When is this thing coming out? I don't know. I don't think it has a release date. But
when I see a trailer, we'll judge it then.
Boogeyman Spawn. I'm okay with it. Let's see what happens. And finally in TV, I got 2 trailers and 2 release dates for 2 TV shows. The first one, Ruggs, the Godzilla anime on Netflix. There was a new trailer. And not only that, we have a date. We can all stream this movie worldwide Wednesday, January 7th, 2018. Be streamed in over 190 countries. That's 6 days from now. That's very exciting.
That's a pretty wide release. I mean, look, Godzilla new movie hasn't been. There's been Godzilla movies on Netflix like a long time ago, but they were like the old movies that not a lot of kids are gonna like give it a whirl. But this might bring a whole new audience to Godzilla. Now I'm hoping they didn't shit the bed on this one and make it lame.
Yeah.
And not like watchable or fun to watch. So I'm hoping that it's at least a fun ride.
I mean, I like the design. I like the design. It looks sick. It takes place 20,000 years in the future. And in the trailer, it's just like humankind versus Godzilla.
I could give you the quick synopsis. Basically, Godzilla's around, like in modern times, and people just can't fucking kill him. And the planet's all fucked up, and I think aliens come or something and give the humans technology like that they never had before. So they're like, "Hey, let's get the fuck out of here. We can't survive in this world where these monsters are all like fucking up everything all the time." And they clearly want to rule the world. So the humans leave, and then they end up going to space, and they're like, "Fuck it, we got to go back," and because whatever they had planned didn't work out, so they came back, but they don't realize that in the span of them going out into space trying to find another world to live in, 20,000 years have passed.
I like the idea that 20,000 years Godzilla has just dominated and ruled the planet.
Yeah,
he's king of the planet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden these motherfuckers show up and
bigger
he's like,
than ever.
Yeah.
He's like eternal. He doesn't die. He just got bigger and in fact he's evolved to be more plant-like or whatever. And so he's part of the earth. He's like the living embodiment of the earth.
Ooh.
Like, so they have to come back, and the main character's got a huge hard on to fucking kill Godzilla.
I wonder who we're gonna end up rooting for in this. Like,
I don't know. I mean, hopefully I don't know. I think one of the things that really pisses a lot of people off is when they sit through a movie with Godzilla in it and he's never in it.
Yes.
I think they're going to do the same thing with this. They're going to build up this whole story of these people, And then Godzilla is probably going to be in it for like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's a waste of animation.
Yeah, I know. It's animation. You can have Godzilla in it through the whole movie.
Whole time. Although, if you look at like Kong Skull Island, like that was like too much King Kong. Like they could have held back a little bit. It almost was like, wow, there's a lot of King Kong in this, which you think would be a good thing. But then it like doesn't make it as special. There's a fine balance.
Yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Nah, I mean, like, if it's fun, if what's happening on screen is awesome, then you're good.
Look, we'll check it out. We'll let you know what we think. We may do a quick review, because I know Anthony will be excited to watch something new about Godzilla, and so will I. Last bit of trailery news, TV release date news, Sci-Fi's Krypton. The story of Superman's great-grandfather, without Superman in it, is coming out March 21st, and they've put out, I guess this is the first trailer.
His name is LL Cool J.
LL is named, not saying L. Yo, LL's gonna knock you out. Yes, the house of LL Cool J. It's up to Seg-El, Kal-El's grandfather, to help restore honor to his family name. So, did you see this trailer for this?
I did.
It's very interesting. A lot of it, I like the set design and the vistas. I guess Adam Strange goes into the past to help them. But there's like a dude I guess Adam Strange is the one with the hoodie and the hat, jacket. I think the costumes are kind of uninspiring. Everyone's just wearing like black jackets. I don't know. They're trying to ground this. You see Superman's cape. He tells him in this trailer about his grandson. David S. Goyer is writing. Some of the city scenes look cool. What do you take away from this, Ruggs? Are you gonna watch this?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm interested in enough of this story enough to like want to watch it. Like, what can possibly be interesting about Krypton?
Before it blows up.
Like, the only thing interesting about Krypton is that Superman, that's where he's from before he comes to Earth and becomes Superman.
Right.
He's not special there, or nobody really, it's just a bunch of humans that are not us.
Yeah. And
we know what ultimately happens to their planet, and we know what ultimately happens to them. So it's kind of like, it might be cool as an Easter egg. I remember for example, in order to make an analogy, I loved Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
And then they made this series called Caprica.
Not as good.
That
was the prequel.
I was interested in watching it just because it was about how the Cylons were made.
Wasn't it like Captain Adama, like before he was captain, or he was young?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was young Adama in there and everything.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting in that, but yeah, you just shit all over Caprica. You said you don't like it. So that's the same vibe that I'm getting from this.
So here's a little more shenanigans from S. Goyer. Listen to this. This kind of makes me cringe, and like I think they're just gonna fuck with the timeline, or he's trying to just backpedal. Executive producer David S. Goyer said the time travel element of the show means the show isn't really beholden to the idea of DC Comics canon, suggesting the show, if it's successful, could drag out Seg-El's long life across multiple series. He said you could tell from that trailer that time travel is involved, and what that means is history could be changed, and what happens on this show could be very different from the backstory that people know. A lot of people know that Krypton blows up, and that's what caused Superman to come to Earth, but this is really an untold story. So, I mean, it's kind of like what they're doing with Gotham. Like, they're just going to do their own version and fuck everything else.
Yeah. I have to see it. I could be wrong. It could probably be awesome, but I have to wait and see.
Edgy it's gonna be. Like sci-fi lately, sci-fi shows like Happy and what was the other show? There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of sex. Like they're relaxing the standards on sci-fi at least to compete with like streaming shows, because then there's just swear words all over streaming shows.
I'm hoping that sci-fi makes a resurgence, but I think that what they have to do is they have to be very frugal with their programming and spend the money where it counts. Like, come up with 3 or 4 flagship shows where they could spend their money. Everything else, go low budget.
Look, I think they're starting to have a little bit of resurgence. So watching Happy, like right now, only thing I watch on Happy, and I DVR it, but the whole time, like everything is branded with Happy. And when they go to commercial, there's a little thing on the bottom that says Happy will return, and it counts down how much time until you get back to the show, kind of like what Hulu does. So they're like mixing the streaming experience and with their and it's very nice. The presentation is very nice. And then they do like
I used to live on that channel,
right?
And now I never am on that channel.
I think they'll have a little resurgence. Give sci-fi a chance, people. It's not the joke everybody thinks it is.
Well, if they start see a lot of the stuff that I watch is sci-fi shows when they end up on like Amazon or Hulu or Netflix, then I end up watching them there. So it's interesting.
March, we'll find out. March 21st. That's it for the news. Stick around, listener. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to give you our sins and wins of 2017 right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
If you're looking for a sports hosting show that gives you the flavor.
Tom Brady's thrown for over 60,000 yards, the most playoff victories, the most Super Bowls, the most Super Bowl MVPs. He is not the greatest of all time.
That brings the energy.
Shaq quote, "The earth is flat." Close quote. "The earth is round."
That isn't about
this or that. It ain't this or that. Charles Barkley, 1994. You stole 2 home games in the Western Conference semifinals against the Rockets. Your team blows it in 7. 1 year later, up 3-1. 2 games at home, and you blow that too.
Then you've come to the right place.
I am that man, your man, the illustrious tour guide Cole Johnson.
Cole Sports. On Cole Sports. With the Z.com.
Hey listener, Dutch here from Voice from the Underground, the podcast. My co-host and I want to invite you to check out our little corner of the podcast verse. At Voice from the Underground, we talk about all the crazy happening around us and try to make a little bit of sense out of the nonsense with little to no results. If the idea of hearing 3 semi-intelligent, outspoken nerds talk about politics, social issues, current events, sports, movies, pretty much anything that we decide to talk about because, well, it's our show, appeals to you, grab your shovel and come on down to the underground, and then consult a qualified psychotherapist. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, just not where you buy your weed.
Voice from the Underground.
Jock and Nerd.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. And if you enjoy the show, if we have become part of your weekly routine and you've come to enjoy the show automatically coming to your podcast app because you subscribed, if you want more show, there's a place you can get that. Just join the fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you can help us out. You're going to get access to an exclusive RSS feed with bonus content, post-show, pre-show. Hey, we did a little thing right now. We're going to beta test the Rug Down pre-show we did before the show. It will be on the Patreon.
And what's that, Imran?
What, the Rug Down? It was your idea, Rugs. It's a few minutes pre-show of us shooting the shit about stuff that doesn't really fit in the show or whatever's on our mind. Rugboy leads the discussion. It's kind of like a mini Rugboy podcast. Hopefully the Patreon people like it. We'll keep doing it if you do. If you don't, we will stop that shit immediately. But
yeah, it's only for you fuckers who pay.
Right. If you sign up for the Patreon, it's a monthly charge. But if you don't want to do that, you can give us a one-time donation off our PayPal link at jockandnerd.com. Click on that PayPal button, just like listener who, I got to give this guy a huge shout out. Huge thanks to a talented artist and listener, goes by the name of Dope Pope, for his $100 PayPal donation.
Oh, shit. Talking nerd.
Dude, thanks.
Holy shit, I
love
speechless. The Pope is awesome. Listen, I'm going to put all links to his stuff in the show notes. I wrote him thank you. Here's what he wrote. Happy New Year to you guys. Love the show. You make my Monday morning workouts more fun. I didn't want to deal with the monthly billing crap of Patreon, so I just sent one lump sum. It's not much, but I hope it helps ease the pain of producing your show, which I thoroughly enjoy. And look, it is great. And you are a producer. Everyone who supports us on Patreon, you can consider yourselves producers of the show. Now, Dope Pope is a dude I met this summer at G-Fest, hanging out with Bilotti and Nick Shev.
He's a very talented 3D artist. He does Marvel stuff, Godzilla stuff, creature design. He's a super talented guy.
I will link his Instagram.
Check out his stuff.
And
He's
DeviantArt.
awesome.
Dude, I remember when I first started talking to him, I walked up to him and he had these glossy photos, and it looked like they were really cool photos of really detailed, like, sculptures, right? Like, I thought these were actual pieces he sculpted. They are complete 3D CG renders in ZBrush, which is an amazing 3D modeling program that a lot of 2D illustrators have jumped to. And I had so many questions, and the guy was really cool. And then we hung out later, and we went out to eat, and Bilotti was there, and Nick Shev was there, and Lenny was there, and Michael Chikotowski from Vampire Robots was there, and we were just geeking out about art, and it was a great conversation. Next year, I think I'm going to interview the artists and do like an artist interview show from G-Fest. I should have recorded.
Oh, we should have Dope Pope come on.
Dope Pope. I would love Dope Pope to have him come on. Really cool guy. And I didn't know he listened. Like, we just hung out.
Yeah,
I think
dude.
I gave him the card or a sticker.
If I would have known that you listened, I would have made you like pimp us out. Like, you know, tell all your fans to listen to us.
Listen, check out the show links for links to Dope Pope's artwork. Amazing illustrator. Dude, I was watching some videos about the ZBrush because I didn't really understand it, but watching videos, it's crazy. Like, you literally start with like a circle in the air, and then you just like push and pull and carve.
It's like clay.
Yeah, it's crazy. All 3D. You could spin it, you could light it, you could paint it. I would love to learn it, but like, it's just so daunting because it is it's not like an Adobe program at all. You gotta learn all the tools.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. You figure out everything else.
But if ZBrush,
you just be ZBrushing your penis.
All I do with ZBrush is 3Ds of my penis.
Yeah.
Until I get it just right. Okay, Before we get to the Sins and Wins rugs, I wanted to talk really quickly about Jumanji. Because I haven't seen the movie, but John Bilotti posted this interesting article from Den of Geek. Headline, What Jumanji Teaches Us About the State of Blockbusters at the Box Office. Before I get to that, let's just look. Jumanji, Rotten Tomatoes score 75%. Okay? 6.1 out of 10 average rating. 90% audience score. Not bad. People like it. And as far as the box office monies, this is why this movie is interesting to me. It's made $254 million domestically, and it's over $500 million worldwide. On a production budget of $90 million. Now, Star Wars The Last Jedi was number one 3 weeks in a row to finish out December. And then suddenly Jumanji comes out, takes the top spot, holds the top spot, and may even hold it for a fourth week. Over Star Wars. That's
crazy.
Right? That's crazy. So I'm like, what is this? So then we start getting quickie reviews from our listeners on our social medias. Daniel Nosker from Geek Street Podcast. He said, I saw it last Wednesday and had fun. Jack Black killed it. I recommend seeing it. Jamie Robinson, who is Mr. Throwback Thursday himself from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. He says, saw it on the Amazon Prime members' early viewing. Absolutely loved it. Jack Black was great and loved the nod to Robin Williams. And then Adam Morris, Dr. Adam Morris, PhD, the official science guy of the Jock and Nerd podcast, writes this. Just in response to the last episode, I went and saw Jumanji, and I feel weird about it. But I had a lot of fun with that flick. Even the Jonas brother didn't upset me. Maybe my criticism is weakened after The Last Jedi. I don't know, but this movie was worth seeing in 3D, entertained me. Worth my money. It's funny. It didn't bring anything groundbreaking or even different, but the role reversals were well done. The Rock is always entertaining and played The Rock, but with some insecurities. Karen Gillan plays the geeky turned hot chick and does it well. Looks good and is funny. Jack Black didn't make me want to punch him in the face, so that's a win. Kevin Hart is pretty much his usual character, but it works without being fucking irritating, which his shtick can get. It was as entertaining as family-friendly entertainment can get.
Yeah, well, I think that the deal is with this is that you know what you're getting into. You know it's a comedy. You see it in the trailer. It's not to be taken seriously. So if you're going to go to this movie, you're going to get what you pay for. You're not like going in there expecting for it to be fucking gangbusters.
Right.
You're going to be pleasantly surprised if it does have more than what the trailer says. And that's cool. I can understand people liking it. And it's kind of free. It's like it's like nerd free. It's like Twitter free. It's hashtag free. It's all of this. It's free of all the bullshit and the baggage that comes with these movies that have a built-in fan base.
It's everything you want in like a holiday movie.
Well, it's just maybe it's a nice little break from the drama.
So this article makes some good points. Is like, what is the lesson to be learned here between the difference between the Jumanjis and the mummies of the future? Is that Jumanji very cleverly takes the nostalgia factor, takes the name, but doesn't try to reboot it, force itself into what came before. Just does like, and again, the shtick is not new. This role reversal thing is not a new thing. It's just everybody does it really well. And I don't know what the nod to Robin Williams is, but I like that. But they're not trying to force a whole shared universe. Unlike The Mummy, which the whole movie is a setup for a bunch of other movies that are never going to happen, and that does not make a movie.
Right. But I can also see myself watching this movie and fucking hating it too. So I might not. I'm being a little forgiving because I haven't seen this and I don't really give a shit about this movie at all.
Yeah.
And if people like it, that's cool. It's like I don't really have an axe to grind against it because it's like an intellectual property that I don't give a fuck about. So if people respond to it, that's cool. I'm like, it is The Rock. It's an action movie. I don't know what he's doing. I guess he's Jumanjiing. I don't know. It's a video game. I don't know. So I don't know what he's doing. He's smoking weed. I don't know what he's doing.
He's being The Rock. But here's a movie.
I always think of weed when I hear Jumanji.
Jumanji. Is that a type of weed strain?
Yeah, he's like, I got some Jumanji.
Oh, let me get the Jumanji green. Let me get the Jumanji black strain.
Yeah.
I mean, this is this article says it's not a great movie or a comedy classic, but this money that it's making, the fact that audiences like it is bucking the trend that you need to be a shared universe or have a big superhero or have a big tentpole. This is a simple, all ages, straightforward, fun movie. So
right.
I just thought I thought that's very interesting. The Jumanji's killing it.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to Sins and Wins of 2017, Ruggs. This was your idea. I like the idea.
I figured there's 7 sins, and they got to be 7 wins.
7 deadly sins, 7 deadly wins. We will start with the wins. We are going to give you 7 wins. So Ruggs made a list. I made a list. We kind of combined them. This is our consolidated list. We'll go back and forth. So win number 1 for me, Ruggs. I'll start with... I thought the diversity in terms of brown content this year was amazing. Specifically, look, we had Aziz Ansari doing Masters of None, something that I connected with a lot. And then Kumail Nanjiani, The Big Sick.
Right.
Literally a movie about my life.
You forgot about The Night Of.
There was The Night Of with Riz Ahmed. Hassan Minhaj actually had the stand-up special called Homecoming. Fucking hilarious. And all of these things, I see, stuff that I grew up with in my Pakistani upbringing, in my Pakistani household, and growing up with, with Eastern culture and Western culture, trying to make it work. I'm starting to see this on the big screen in mainstream media. It's very exciting to me.
Well, normally I'd take you to task for this. And
I know you
like,
would.
But I'll tell you what. Okay, I got 2 ways of thinking about it. Number 1, I do... Even though sometimes I think that people just backing stuff because of whatever ethnic reason, or they have an ethnic whatever a connection to it is I don't really, I think that's weird. But like because I don't go seek out Romanian movies or whatever,
right.
or puppet movies
or puppet fell. Well, you got the Muppet Caper. All those movies are made for you.
I hate those movies, but these movies and these shows are really good.
It's not pandering propaganda.
Yeah, no,
it's quality content.
But I do like that you support it. Even if it was shitty, you'd probably support it still.
Probably because it's nice to see people that look like you.
Because you support when Spider-Man sucks.
Yeah,
you still support it even though it sucks. You're like, okay, I love Spider-Man.
The difference with this year, Aziz Ansari just won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy Series for Masters of None.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
I thoroughly enjoyed both of these entries as well as the night of.
Yes.
I think these three.
That was 2016 though. Was that 2017?
Was it?
I don't
was
know.
it?
I feel like it was 2016. I don't know.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 2016. Master of None, and because I feel like I watched Masters of None and the night of at the same time, but maybe I was late to night of. Anyway, Master of None season 2 was fucking amazing.
I love it.
And The Big Sick was a great movie, and I really enjoyed that too. And I thought it was very high quality and well written and very funny and touching. So these two things deserve to be wins, obviously.
Yeah, and just for me, man, there's a lot of great Pakistani comics out there now. They're getting bigger, and I applaud it. And part of me is also bitter and jealous because I'm like, I've had those fucking thoughts for years. I should have done something with it. This is my shtick. Like, The Big Sick is the story of me and my wife meeting each other, like almost minus the coma and the Uber driving and the stand-up comedy. Everything else is the same. Okay, maybe it's not completely similar. Number 2 win, Ruggs. Why don't you take this one?
Okay, so basically, this was the year of comic buyouts. So there's these Netflix bought Millar World.
Huge.
All right, which is like a whole stable of characters created, like the Kick-Ass universe, obviously, Wanted, all of those things that are written by Mark Millar or Mark Miller. I don't know how you say his name.
I don't know how you say his name. Kingsman, all that shit.
Yeah, all that. So Netflix has access to a shitload of cool, like edgy, and that's great for Netflix because Netflix is edgy. And they can do their Netflix shit with these stuff.
A lot of people don't know about, but is awesome if they do it right. Yeah.
And speaking of shit that no one knows about, Valiant got bought up by Sony.
This is huge too.
And Valiant's something that I love because it was one of those companies that, all right, so Marvel, DC have all this like history and continuity problems and this and that, and Valiant. Unlike Image, which was all these different studios doing their different things, Valiant was like a whole new comic book company that wanted to create a very tight continuity, rules that went across all books. Everything was kind of interwoven between the books, and there was a really cool, cohesive thing to this universe.
They were working with old characters that were like the copyrights had expired on a lot of them, and
they took a bunch of old things and made it new, and then they added a bunch of new things to that universe, and they managed to make it basically a whole new universe with all of these characters. So now Sony has Bloodshot, and Vin Diesel's in early talks to be in that.
That's awesome. I think he would make a really great Bloodshot. Can you imagine like an R-rated Bloodshot with Vin Diesel?
It doesn't really. I think maybe his name would help sell some tickets, but no one knows who Bloodshot is.
Well, he's a shit. Once people see it, he's like a fucking Punisher meets Terminator, sick character.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. But for Sony, this is huge because they need a stable franchise. Now, this Venom movie, the Spider-Man thing, they're trying to start their own Spider-Man franchise. This is lots of great IP they can build a universe on. There is that Ninjak versus the Universe web series. I don't know how that will be tied in.
No, that got tanked, man.
Oh, it did.
I saw they had a preview up. Listen, Bat in the Sun, contact me.
They made that.
Because if I'm wrong, but I saw a trailer for that said that was going to come out, and it never came out.
Wasn't the Green Ranger playing Ninjak?
Yeah.
Jason Frank?
It was like a year and a half ago.
I thought
they said it was coming out.
Maybe I saw a trailer, but not the whole thing.
It was just a trailer. It was just like a trailer or a sizzle reel, and then nothing ever happened. You never hear a peep about it.
But I mean, the point is, this is great for comic book creators because that passion that studios have to buy, you could come up with a comic book and it could still get, if it's good, it could still get the attention of studios. It could still get bought. It could get made.
Well, I think that Sony needed to, since they're losing their Marvel stuff, they needed something. And you can't really buy the Image universe. You have to take that piecemeal.
Right, because it's creator owned, and that's just a headache.
So the only way you can get the whole kit and caboodle is to buy another universe. And so the only other cohesive universe that they have out there besides Millar World, which is not really cohesive, it's kind of, they kind of exist in the same world, but they're not interwoven like Valiant is.
Right.
So if they want to do like a Marvel and have all these interwoven properties and stuff, Valiant's the only way to go.
Man, I mean, Exo Man Awards like your Iron Man. You got Archer and Armstrong. You got Harbingers,
Eternal Warrior,
Shadow Man. There's great characters that they could do. That's very exciting. Sony needs something, so let's hope they don't fuck it up, which they probably will. But yeah, Vin Diesel in early talks to join Bloodshot at Sony.
This could be cool. Like, I would be super excited if this gets people into the Valiant universe.
And then again, we should do the story of Valiant Comics itself. Like, they went bankrupt, and then years later, this Indian kid buys them and brings them back to life, and now they're kicking. They're going
by
strong.
Brown people.
Yes, more brown content, like brown people, except for Ajit Pai, the one brown asshole fucking things up with net neutrality. Brown people are doing good things in the world.
Yes.
Ajit Pai, you're a dick. The next win I got, number 3 last year, streaming TV, streaming media, huge win, huge growth. It is a space that's going to grow even more this year.
It's like...
this is just the beginning.
TV can't keep up with it.
And I can't keep up with it either. There's so many good things to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you have some really fucking great stuff.
We have seen shit that would never have been on network TV. Amazingly risky, creative stuff. Let's call out a couple of our favorite things. I'm going to start with, at the very end of the year, season 4 of the best science fiction show on television, people.
Oh, shit.
Black Mirror dropped, and it's fucking amazing. I want to review every episode of Black Mirror because it is so smart and clever, and it just leads to so many conversation. Like, I have conversations with myself watching the show. It's that deep, dude. I
didn't watch it all yet because I think one of our listeners was talking about Black Mirror and saying they have to process it after they watch it.
You know what? You can binge it, but that's the thing is you watch an episode and you just want to talk to somebody about it.
And they're very rich with ideas and stuff. So like you want to like take a day or two to like kind of just before you get into this whole other one. It's like it's kind of heavy. So
if people have not checked out the Black Mirror, it is an anthology series similar to Twilight Zone. And it's my favorite kind of science fiction. Every episode takes place in the near future, in a near dystopian future. And basically, it's all about that technology, artificial intelligence, robots, stuff that is meant to free us and help us is going to end up fucking us.
It's cautionary tales.
And occasionally there's hopeful stories, but most of the time is we are become slaves to this tech, and the tech is going to fuck us. But a lot of these things, every episode, you're like, I could see that happening. I could totally see that happening.
Well, some of it's already happening.
Some of it is they've called shit. So I want to know from the listener, like, would you want Black Mirror reviews? Because I want Anthony to watch it. I want to review every episode either on the show here or on the Patreon. It'll eat up most of the year if we do one episode at a time. There's only 20 episodes, and they're all amazing little mini movies. It's the fucking best shit ever.
It's cool shit.
Name me another one from streaming TV that you like this year.
I loved Glow.
Glow was great.
I watched it on a lark. I was just like, fuck, we put this on. This looks funny. And I was just fucking sucked in, and I enjoyed it, and it was like little candy. And like Mark Maron was great in it, and everybody that was in the show was just fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it was something I hadn't seen before. It was like a period piece, but like it was funny, and there was some historical like nostalgia there. From when I was growing up, and there was some weird shit like wrestling on TV, like people watch that shit. So I really enjoyed that, and I can't wait for that to come back on. What else is on streaming?
Star Trek Discovery, everyone's raving about. I still have only watched the first 2 episodes.
Star Trek Discovery is kind of like very divisive. I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. I like it because I've already seen the Star Trek that everybody's talking about, and I'm like, okay, Picard, I love that shit. I love the Kirk stuff. I'm like, now I'm ready for this. It's basically the same idea. It's like they're going through the galaxy. They're at war in this one. So I think that one is the fact that they're at war and that it's supposed to precede the old series, which is the Kirk series.
Right.
This is supposed to happen before, and it's more technologically advanced, and it just doesn't make sense in the timeline.
But don't even think about that.
If you're gonna be a stickler about it, which I am a stickler about a lot of things, I could understand that you fucking hate it. But just like how people like Spider-Man Homecoming that don't give a shit about Spider-Man, I really Even though I give a shit about Star Trek, I don't give a shit to the degree that the people who hate it.
So you can enjoy it.
So I can enjoy it, but I understand that it's probably fucking shitty.
Plus, it's got F-bombs and alien boobies.
Yeah, alien boobs, and they say the F-bomb.
That's good.
So, I mean, I'm going to stick with it. I'm sticking with it because it's fun to watch, and I mean, the mechanics of the show are good. So it's worth a lot. The budget's good. The camera work's good. The episodes are entertaining. So I'm sticking with it. Another big series that I really like is The Toys That Made Us.
Yes.
And I can't wait for them to hit all the fucking... This is nostalgia porn right now.
Oh, my God. But it's really well done.
And it's interesting, and the stories... Basically, these are the stories about toys. So, like, you want to know about how G.I. Joe came to be and what all the mechanics that went on behind the scenes? Well, you watch this. It'll tell you everything. They interview the fucking guy who drew the art on the box, and I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
They fucking interviewed the guy who did the art on the box, and I remember looking at that art and going, oh, that fucking shit is cool. You learn about Snake Eyes. You learn about how, like, fucking the reason why he's black and with no other colors is because they wanted to save money on paint.
Yeah, he was just like a sample test model, and everyone turned out that's the coolest, most collectible character.
Like the story about He-Man and how they fucking thought of this idea. You gotta watch it.
It's great. This is on Netflix. It's an 8-part series. 4 episodes are out. The first episode is about Star Wars and Kenner. Second episode is the history of Barbie, which is actually, it's really interesting. The third episode is about He-Man, and the 4th episode is about G.I. Joe. The He-Man episode is so good because they literally were like, we just cut up other action figures and then just threw shit on top and carved it out and made this shit up as we were going. And it's so great. They go into one place and they're like, oh, this He-Man, what? That's all you got? What do you got? And the guy's like, oh, we're going to do a comic book. Never intending to do a comic book.
Yeah,
and
then they bullshitted him.
Then they go to another vendor and they're like, you got a comic book. This is for 5-year-olds. They don't read. He's like, oh, I didn't tell you. We're also doing a cartoon. And he just fucking pulled it out of his ass. And then they're like, all right, we got to do a cartoon.
We can make it.
And then we can make a cartoon. And the rest is history. Toys That Made Us. Fucking great show. Other honorable mentions. Future Man on Hulu. Love it. You have to watch it.
I got to get into that.
R-rated adult comedy. Last Starfighter meets Back to the Future meets Terminator. An R-rated raunchy comedy. Fucking hilarious. I also finally finished American Vandal, which is that true crime parody of like Serial. Did you mention
The Tick?
And The Tick was a surprise. Surprisingly good
That's
Tick
better
show.
than it should have been. I thought it was going to be a complete dog shit show.
Yeah, on Amazon.
And I actually ended up like warming up to it really by the 3rd episode. I was like, oh, this is not so bad.
They split up the season 2, 6 episodes out. I think the next 6 are coming out this month or next month. A lot better than it should. I agree, Ruggs. I was surprised. And the reason is, like, Arthur is the focus of the main character. The Tick's kind of side character. It works a lot better. Also, I got to mention Manhunt Unabomber on Netflix because I binged my way through that. This is the story, scripted series about Ted Kaczynski, obviously Unabomber, but Paul Bettany plays Ted Kaczynski, and he's really good. Like, you wouldn't think Paul Bettany would pull that off. He's fucking great. And here's what's funny about this. This relates to Black Mirror. Here's how. Black Mirror, like I said, is a cautionary tales about technology fucking us in the ass.
Right.
In the Manhunt, the Unabomber, they go over his manifesto. The Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, very similar to the themes in Black Mirror. He's like, he was a little more extreme. He's like, all this tech and industry that was supposed to free us is making us slaves. His solution was we need to burn it all down, go back, live in the woods. Now, extreme solution, but on the surface, like both ideas, I was like, this is very similar.
All down.
This is what's very similar to
Back to basics.
Black Mirror said. Manhunt, you are very good. Okay.
I have one more that I want to throw in there.
Yeah, what do you got?
And that is Halt and Catch Fire. Now, this is a show that's been on for like 4 years, but I never fucking knew about it.
Now it's on streaming?
And now it's on Netflix, and I fucking binged it. And holy shit, is it a great character story. It's feminist in a lot of ways because the main characters, it started out with men, but it ends up really being the woman's show by the end.
What's it about?
It's basically, it's a show about the computer age. And it's basically like a fake Steve Jobs and a fake Steve Wozniak, like building a computer in their garage.
So it takes place in the 80s.
Yes, and trying to basically outdo IBM.
Wow.
And and it goes into like the internet and like the creation of the internet and what bulletin boards before the internet and all that stuff. So it's got some historical and nostalgia to it. But I think what really kills it is that by the time you get to the third season, you know these characters so well, and just every move that they make, everything that they do, like it starts to it like pulls at you.
You're invested.
You're like, oh my god! It's like, remember when you used to watch Lost, and you're like, well, Jack said this, and you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, every little thing meant something.
So it's kind of like it wraps you up in this like these characters.
Is it over?
It's over. It's done.
It's just 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it ends and it leaves you wanting so much more. And I thought it was really good.
Wow, that's cool. That actually reminds me of another show that I really loved to end this year, and it was Orphan Black with 5 seasons. So if you should check out Orphan Black.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the first season and I liked it. But you know what happened with Orphan Black was that it made me so paranoid. That I couldn't enjoy it. Like, it was like, I'm like, what is she doing? She's gonna get caught. She's gonna get caught here. Oh, she fucking got out of it. Oh my god. Like, so like, the whole time I'm just doing that, and I'm like, I can't do this for like 4 seasons.
Tatiana Maslany is an amazing actress. I think she deserves way more credit because when she plays the 4 different versions of herself, you forget it's the same fucking actress.
Right.
She's so good. So check out the Black. She's great. Win number 4 is the Crisis on Earth X crossover from the CW Arrowverse shows, and kind of the Arrowverse in general. I've caught up. I haven't watched any Supergirl yet. I'm caught up on the others, but this Crisis on Earth X crossover was so much better than the one the year before.
Yeah, it's better, but for me, like, it's a win because it's better and it's an improvement.
Yeah,
and it's starting to be more cohesive in the way that they're doing things. I still. I sometimes when I see Green Arrow beating somebody with a fucking the fucking bow. Yeah. I'm like, why is he doing this?
There's still moments of that.
Yeah, there's things that like I still can't get behind.
They were fighting Nazis and not like aliens with his bow.
Yeah, which was cool because like there's White Canary is like straight up murking people with a machine gun, and you're like, okay. Dude. Yeah, I'm like, it's okay, it's Nazis. She's like just mowing people down.
Yeah, who can't get behind Nazis? Spoiler alert. The reason I love this is the whole thing is framed around Barry and Iris's wedding. And at the end of it, Barry and Iris, there's a double wedding. Felicity and Oliver and Barry and Iris all get married at once. It's a great moment. And Professor Stein fucking dies.
That I didn't like.
Professor Stein dies, and later on, Jax has left the show. So Firestorm is done, which is weird, but they got the ISIS girl came in, who is the hacker. But, this time, there was stakes involved. There were definite changes to the show. It didn't feel filler like last year, where it affected nothing in the show. This was very well integrated to the season, so I appreciated that.
Where did the Ray come from?
The Ray showed up, who is the gay superhero. He is actually a DC superhero. They premiered him on CW's Seed as an animated series.
No, but I mean, like, is he now in the Legends?
I think he may be in the Legends
because he kind of popped up and there was no, like, as I said, I wasn't watching the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
I just watched the Crisis.
Yeah. The Ray pops up there. In that crossover, I think.
Okay.
And then fucking Legends of Tomorrow, it ends with the season break before it comes back. John Constantine shows up on the Wave Rider.
Oh shit.
I was like, oh shit. And it's the guy, I forgot what the guy's name is.
Matt
Ryan. Yeah, Matt Ryan, John Constantine shows up at the Legends mid-season finale. So I don't know how long he's going to be on the show, but I was really excited to see him back. They've been pretty fun, like the Flash. For once, it finally is not fighting fucking speedsters. It's fighting that guy in the chair who created all these other metas. So you got Ralph Dibny. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. As far as it's coalescing and it feels like it makes sense together.
Yeah.
Like the other ones seem so much more forced.
Yes, and Supergirl was like had nothing. At least Supergirl was integrated better.
Yeah,
that other one, Supergirl, had nothing to do with. Okay, number 5 win, Ruggs. This is yours. I don't know what this means.
Yeah, have you ever seen this movie on Netflix?
Oh, this is the name of a movie?
Yes, I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Oh, I just thought you were making a statement about how you felt in life.
No.
Because that's how I feel sometimes.
This could have easily been part of the streaming TV, but this is a movie. It's not just a TV show. Now, I liked Bright. It was okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like not the best thing I've ever seen, but I'm like, okay, it's a Netflix movie. It was enjoyable for what it was, but like, you know, I'm not really like over the moon about it. But this movie actually made me chuckle, and it was highly watchable. And it's one of those movies that I didn't want to put on because I wasn't really fond of the actress that was the main character. It's like, I don't feel like I want to watch her for the whole movie.
Melanie Linsky.
Yes, but then Elijah Wood is in this.
Oh.
And he's like a weirdo. And it's about these two people who become friends and like take on these assholes. And it just spirals out of control.
Ooh. Kind of like a Coen Brothers kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like this girl who hates people like and just has a shitty life, and then Elijah Wood's dog shits on her property and she like yells at him, and he just becomes her friend, you know, because like he walks his dog in front of her house and they start talking and stuff. And then they go on, I think someone breaks in her house and she's trying to figure out who did it and make them pay. And Elijah Wood's like, I'll help you. And then it just spirals out of control.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and it just becomes like it made me feel like not like a Pulp Fiction, but of a Pulp Fiction era type movie.
Okay, I see. Like, cool. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Where it's kind of like it's kind of like absurd, but it's weird. It's like, you know, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
Okay, one of those, yeah.
Coen Brothers movies, like all of that stuff that's in that like 90s era of movies where like they started making really creative shit.
I see. So it's a kind of a feeling back to the director auteur.
Yeah.
Cool shit. Well, look, if we're just recommending Netflix movies from last year, Okja, very good movie.
Didn't see it.
I would recommend the Okja. It was weird, quirky, charming, and very good.
Well, Bilotti said I was going to cry if I watched it. So I was like, I'm not watching a movie I'm going to cry.
No, I don't think you'll cry. I mean, there is like animal cruelty, but it's like a made-up animal that they're torturing. So it's not like a real animal. They made up this. It's Okja. It's like a weird, big hippo thing.
Yeah.
But
I was kind of disappointed because when I heard about this movie, I thought it was going to be a kaiju.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way that they were talking about it, it's this beast and it's a kaiju and it's not.
No, it's a genetically modified
fantastic
animal
and then it's just
for people
cow
to eat. Yes, it's just like a
super cow.
The super cow, exactly.
So I was like, hey, but you know, I might watch it.
It's very good.
Like I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Performances are great. All right, win number 6 on our list is this. This is also on the sin list, so it's a split. Marvel TV in 2017. I have it on the wins. It is also in the sins. It is on the win list for the following reasons. Agents of S.H.E.I.L.D. Season 5, a show that we didn't know was coming back after Season 4, gets picked up, moved to Friday. Surprisingly fun return. They just didn't give a fuck. Made a whole new show. It's a time jump of like 90 years. It's like a space sci-fi show.
I was completely checked out of this show this season.
You really? I look forward to it now.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
So the first 2 episodes, I was like, this is bullshit. This show's it's done. There's no way. And then you get to the episode with Fitz, and it got me back in.
Yep.
Fitz fucking makes this show.
Yeah.
That whole thing had so much weight to it because he is a man who loves his woman.
He will travel through space and time to be with her.
Yes.
And you feel it.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. I love a lot of the storytelling they've been doing this season where they've shown you the incident at the diner from different points of view. You see what Fitz has done while they're in space and how he gets to them. And then he's like a badass. He's playing this badass bounty hunter. Like, it's a lot of fun. It's good shit, dude. I don't know where it's going, which is why I'm like, every week I'm really looking forward to this because I was like, I have no idea where this fucking thing is going. What is going on? So to me, that's good. They had The Gifted this year on Fox, which is not a bad X-Men show. It's got potential. It's not horrible.
I watched like one episode.
I've seen. I think I've caught up to all the episodes. Not bad. A lot of X-Men name drops. A lot of mutant drops.
Right.
The girl that plays Polaris, like Magneto, is her father. They've already said that.
From what I saw of this, I actually thought it was well done, and I felt it was better done than a lot of the superhero shows or comic book based shows. I felt it was high quality, and it was taken seriously, and it wasn't campy or anything.
Oh, it's not bad. Bryan Singer feel of his X-Men from the beginning.
Right.
Now, another show, X-Men show they gave us that's way better was Legion from last year. Unbelievable. It's coming back for another 10 episodes, I think. Legion was great. This one was removed from the X universe, but Noah Hawley, the guy who does Fargo, with the girl from Fargo, and Dan Stevens, fucking love Legion. Great job.
Yeah, well, the guy who does Fargo is a great director, and this was a great series. Very fucked up, very kind of like paranoia inducing in a lot of ways, but it was very well done, and it's almost like I could say almost a work of art.
It is trippy, beautiful. So then when it comes back the next season, Ruggs, there's going to be a time jump, which I think is good. It will help, because was it in the 70s? 80s?
Yeah.
So they're going to, I don't know how much the time jump's going to be, but it should be interesting. Remember, he was in the little ball at the end, and then the ball flew away. I'm like, what the fuck happened? He's in the ball. Another Marvel show that I just finished the whole season on Hulu, Runaways. Brian K. Vaughan's book. Brian K. Vaughan writing.
How was that?
It's actually pretty good. It reminds me of Arrow when Arrow is good, because the setting is Los Angeles, and it's about a bunch of rich kids with rich parents, but it actually is part of the story. This show, it's crazy. It's got a dinosaur, just like the comic book. It's got a dinosaur. There's a little bit of a time travel element. Some of the kids have powers. Some of them are building tech. But the characters are great. At first, you look at these 6 people, and you're like, why the fuck would these people hang out together? But they do a really good job. They flesh out the parents really well, and you're kind of torn. You don't know whose side to be on, if the parents are dicks. And the whole season leads up to them like finally running away at the end of the season. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really well done.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but if you think it's good,
I think it's only eight episodes, and it was an interesting model. Hulu put out the first 3 episodes all at once, and then it was every Tuesday.
It's one of these things where I see these huge ensemble casts and all of these things, and I'm like, I already read the comic. I don't need to watch a show.
I think it's a little bit more fleshed out than the comic book, because in the comic book, you didn't really know anything about their parents, did you?
Not a whole lot, but yeah, you did get some, but not a whole lot.
This one has elements of like Arrow and the Defenders. Like there's a big hole in the ground. There's a secret. There's like they're mining for something. There's there's a lot of betrayal, and I really enjoyed it, and it's been picked up for another season.
Okay,
so I'm interested to see where it goes. I would check it out. Actually, the cast is great. The chemistry is great.
Does it feel like an ABC
a little?
lighthearted?
It feels like it feels more like CW drama. Like it reminded me a lot of Arrow, like good Arrow, early Arrow.
Okay.
So and then finally, they did give us The Punisher in November.
Yeah, which was very good.
It was good. One of the best ones they've put out so far.
Yeah.
So that's why number 6 Marvel TV is on wins. The last win for the year, Ruggs. This one's yours. It's another thing. I don't know what this is.
Oh, well, I want to throw a video game on here, and there's fucking a million gigantic games that came out this year, but I always like when there's a single player game that just fucking takes over your life for like a few days, and that was Inside the game. It's called Inside.
The game is called Inside.
Yes,
okay.
And basically what it is you start out as a kid in a field somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's very, very like super graphically designed. It's like it's not like super 3D, and people just start chasing you. And you don't know what you can do. You have no idea what the controls are, nothing. Whoa. And you just start pushing that controller, and you start running away from these dogs that are chasing you. And then all of a sudden, you just keep going. You don't know what to do because people are chasing you. You just don't know what to do. You just keep running.
You gotta go.
And then the more that you run, the story unfolds, and it doesn't unfold in any way where there's any kind of exposition. Just the environment around you, some of the sounds that you see, and there's nobody telling you how to do shit. You got to figure it all out on your own.
Whoa.
And you basically, it's like a dystopian future where they figured out mind control. And the ending
like
of
a
this
Black
thing,
Mirror episode.
Yes, and the ending of this thing is you make your way to this kind of like, I don't know, like the hub where everything is, and and you find yourself in this. There's this room where they're just keeping something hidden, like almost like in Akira, where they have, Akira's remains in this like fucking little freezer somewhere.
Yeah,
it's kind of like not like that, but not like that, but it's reminiscent. And there is an Akira moment, and it's.
So
does
the game
insane.
change every time you play it? Like, depending on what you do, is it a different game?
No, it's the same game. It's a very focused design game made for you to have a particular experience.
Okay.
All right. And to me, this was as good as any movie I've seen.
Wow.
This is as good as any book I've read.
Wow.
This experience was something that I just couldn't shake. I mean, I did this game about months ago.
What's it on? All the consoles?
I think you could just download it anywhere. I think you play it on your computer, on Steam, anywhere. It's a very cheap game. But I want to give these guys a shout out
too now. Okay.
Yeah, because if you ever played the game Limbo.
Okay, so Play Dead is the name of the company that makes this.
Limbo was their first game, and that was a great game.
Okay.
But this is just the experience of playing this game for me was just like experiencing a film.
Ooh, I might play this on my phone. It's on iOS devices, and it will be on the Nintendo Switch at an unannounced date.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what this company does next. Play Dead is great.
Dead. All right, I'm checking out Inside the Game. I do have one honorable mention in wins, and that is Game of Thrones. Not just season 7, but the fact that Anthony and I got to binge and catch up on all 7 seasons of Game of Thrones this year, and wow, that was a lot of fun, and I love the listeners coming along with us, reviewing each season, episode every couple episodes. Amazing. I don't know why I waited as long as I did, but I'm glad I did because I got to watch it all without any interruption. And fuck, I'm all in, and now we just have a year to wait, a year plus for the resolution final season.
It's a great fucking series.
I love the Thrones now. And not only that, I get all the Game of Thrones jokes.
Oh, shit.
I get that reference. Ha ha. Okay, let's get to the sins.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Okay, Geek Sin number 1 of 2017. Ruggs, why don't you bust it out?
Okay, we had Marvel TV on our wins, but Marvel TV's also shitty sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
And the number 1 culprit of that is the Inhumans.
I mean, we had the Inhumans, you had Iron Fist, and even the Defenders, to some degree, should have been way more epic, and it just kind of fell flat. So,
right.
Man, Marvel TV, you gave us good shit, but then you gave us really bad shit. The worst shit ever.
Yeah, just in a world where you can do such a... I mean, these are Marvel-made things. I think that's the most egregious thing, because, like, Legion, and they were made by Fox.
Right.
So...
And they're doing a better job at it.
I mean, they did Punisher, which was pretty good in comparison to this stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's just weird that Marvel can kind of drop the ball on, like, Defenders.
I mean, DC...
Like, Iron Fist, okay, they fucked up Iron Fist. But Defenders, like, people have been waiting forever for this, like, all of this stuff to coalesce into a cool... And it was dog shit.
Is way not as epic as... Yeah, it's pretty disappointing when you think about what actually happened, and there's a hole in the ground with dragon bones and blah, 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 the hand. Really? This is what you're going to give us? It's, DC has always been killing it with their shows, and I think they continue to this year, except for we're going to add an addendum to this sin, and it's the show Powerless.
Which is a DC show,
Which is their attempt at a sitcom, their version of Damage Control. I did not laugh once. And I watched every episode.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Gotham and Powerless are both shitty DC shows, but like Powerless is just unnecessary and a complete
You know
waste
what?
of
We
time.
had Gotham on here, but I took it off because at least it's entertaining and it's consistent with itself, and you know what you're getting is some over-the-top
it's dog
bullshit.
shit.
Yes, but it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what the fuck is going to happen now?
It's
What
like-
the fuck, Gotham?
But like, this is the thing with Gotham. It's like, it's dog shit, but it's like well-made dog
It
shit.
really
It's like
is.
someone like went through the effort to try and like shoot it like in cool lighting,
Yeah.
and like they have like cool sets, and they're just fucking always smoke billowing all over the
Dude,
place.
the actors are they're not phoning it in. They're very good. Aside from fucking Ben McKenzie, who's still just always stiff, like the guy playing Riddler and Penguin, and even David Mazouz. He's not my favorite, but there's some interesting performances.
Yeah, I hate that he's the Batman, but like whatever.
Ugh, he's dumb. Well, now they left it at where he's like in his drunk play, like he's 16 years old and he's drinking and like going to clubs. Like I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
weird.
glad I haven't watched any of
It's
these
not-
episodes.
You can catch up with it later. Number 2, Ruggs. You had this in your list, and I agree. I put it in here. It is the Disney effect. Do you care to elaborate?
We're starting to feel it.
Yes, we
I think
are.
it's palpable.
You saw it in Spider-Man Homecoming. You saw it in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's the Disney effect is like a wide thing. Like it's a wide, broad thing. It's like not, you can't just pinpoint it to one particular aesthetic. It's basically like, number one, Disney doesn't give a fuck about Marvel. Right? They're like, Marvel's just, we bought the IP, it's ours, now we're going to do what we need to do with it.
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket based on what they have.
Yeah. So the comic books, those things are like an afterthought. They're like, they're letting Marvel do whatever it wants, but at the same time, they don't give a fuck about the actual comics.
No, they don't.
The continuity doesn't matter. The characters themselves don't matter. They're redefining everything. They're deciding what they need to fucking get the stuff on Disney XD. They need to make shows. They need to tie this shit all together with the toys, all this stuff. It's now a product. It's a super product.
It's so like evil genius where, like you said, you don't notice it, but slowly everything just kind of gets homogenized and justified little by little until you just accept it because it's just a little thing at a time.
Well, the thing is that for the most part, it's going to be invisible to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And
because they know if they did too much too fast, that it would ruin it. Like they're fucking evil genius smart, dude.
And they're winning because they're tricking people into liking this shit.
Yes.
All right, like let's put a cute thing here.
Yeah, it's got
let's put a cute thing there. Let's put a couple of jokes here.
We got a Porg over here. You got a baby Groot over there. Boom, we got everything covered. There's your toys for this season, you fuckers.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's very, very deliberate too. It's like, and Lucas sucked at this. Like his Jar Jar Binks was a huge fail.
Yeah.
Disney would never have done a Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. But it's the same thing. They're just better
But the same idea.
Yeah.
They're just so much. Disney knows what the fuck they're doing.
I mean, they really do. I go back and forth. Evil genius fucking shit. Unbelievable.
They are the indoctrinators that we've all been fearing, and it's happening. Like I didn't fear Disney maybe like 20 years ago because Disney was just Mickey Mouse.
Right.
But now, because I'm like, who gives a fuck about Mickey Mouse after 5 years old? Nobody. But now they have cable stations, they have TV, they have Hannah Montana, they have all this like whatever it is that Zendaya was on. Like they have all of these shows, and then these things now creep into Marvel and all of this stuff, and it's clearly becoming not just something that people grow out of at 5. It's something they have stores now. They bought every intellectual property that's worth owning. And they've even managed to wrestle it away from people that already own the shit that Marvel had.
Dude, think about how fucking brilliant this is. They hook you from the time you are literally a baby.
Yes.
To every stage in your life now.
Right.
You can carry Disney IPs, backpacks,
You can be 40
shirts.
years old.
Yes.
And wear a Disney IP shirt.
And then when you have kids and the
know.
fucking shit starts over again and it just doubles down and reinforces it. And before you know it, you're the fucking Disney whore and you didn't even know what you were doing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's fucking brilliant. Oh my God.
Yeah, but that, and that's the thing. We, the people who grew up with these IPs, a lot of them, I mean, Star Wars was an indie thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an expensive indie, but it was an indie.
Marvel Studios, when they make Iron Man, was an independent studio.
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Marvel had no fucking money.
Nope.
It was on the verge of fucking closing and collapsing.
Yeah.
So they saved Marvel to destroy Marvel.
You knew it was going to happen.
They basically saved like a beautiful woman and then raped her.
Yes. They save, but they rape also.
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about sin number 3, which is, this was my entry. The whole Donald Trump presidency so far has been fucking...
Well, according to you, Imran, if you ever read Trump's tweets, he would say the opposite.
Yes, he, in his own delusional mind, has a win every day. But literally, a day doesn't go by where he proves...
He's killing it.
What? That the man is just not want to do this job.
Like, you know what? Like, the fact that he tweets this stuff is probably the biggest thing that, like, is insane.
Yes.
Like, if he was just a guy that did the shit that he did but didn't tweet about it, like, he's the one that's giving all the ammo to everybody all the time. It's just the fact that he cannot, his ego will not let him just shut the fuck up and just take it.
My button's bigger than yours, Kim.
Yeah.
You got a button. What did he do today? He said that he sold, the military sold Norway these jets that don't exist, and they're from Call of Duty.
Oh, shit.
They're not real planes. He thinks they're real planes. He said like F-52s, which is like only in Call, and he's like, oh, these are the Call of Duty planes. We sold them to Norway. Great. Chappelle has some great bits about Trump in his latest special.
Go for it.
Where he's just like, man, you're not supposed to be telling us this shit. And he tells you shit. And then he's like, Trump wants to bring back coal? I haven't seen a piece of fucking coal my whole life. I don't even know what it looks like. It's just every day. So it's a major sin.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle was brilliant. That should have been up in the win.
That was a win. I had that, and then it goes into streaming TV because without that
whole Iceberg Slim fucking thing was fucking genius.
That's fucking good shit. Sin number 4, Ruggs. What is it?
Speaking of Iceberg Slim, I'm being a bitch. Bad CGI in the Mustachegate.
Oh man,
I think that was probably. I mean, that's one of the biggest sins that I've seen all year. It's very egregious. Like, that they would put out this movie with like visibly bad CGI on one of the most important characters.
I mean, in this day and age, on a movie this high profile, there is no excuse to put out a product like that.
And not only that, but not even be able to be smart enough to figure out a way around this problem.
Right. This was your solution? Like, instead of adding maybe a fake beard or just
have a bearded Superman. You couldn't do that. Like, I just don't understand why.
Save tons of money and an easy, practical solution.
To try this.
I don't know.
You know, like, things can be done. You could really, like, Paul Walker was CG'd into, like, Fast and the Furious, and it was, like, done good enough so it wasn't really that noticeable.
No, but even Steppenwolf in the movie was not that great. Like, the whole movie
they just
suffered.
Had the CG in Justice League for the amount of money that it cost. It's embarrassing.
And let me tell you something. Mission Impossible 6, when that comes out, fucking Cavill's mustache better have lines and be shooting at people, because what is the reason he couldn't shave it off? That mustache better be a goddamn plot point in Mission Impossible 6 for ruining fucking Justice League. The mustache should have its own romantic interest. Just walk up and leave. Like it saves the day at the end of the movie. The mustache.
Like, there's a lot of bad CGI out there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great shit, though. Like every time you try and pass off bad CGI as good shit, just like look at Planet of the Apes.
Amazing.
Just look at that.
Amazing. Seamless.
It's just ridiculous, the shit that they've done in that movie. There's so many things that are done that you wouldn't even know are CG that are so well done. You just can't be like, defend it and say it looks fine. No, it didn't.
It does not, and it can be done better.
Yeah.
Number 5 on the sins, and this is one I really hated putting on here, but it needed to be put on here. There's one of the shows that was at one time my favorite fucking show of all time.
Yeah.
And it's The Walking Dead. What happened, Walking Dead? We know what happened. Scott
Gibble's
went on
a dick. Too long.
Yes.
It went on too long. They hired the wrong guy to steer the show. They tried to engineer water cooler talk. It's one of those things when you see something like Walking Dead that used to have these compelling characters that you really wanted to follow, and they've managed to make you like so not give a shit about them anymore, and that you're tired of watching them. And it's just like now you're like just watching it out of some fucked up loyalty.
That's the only reason. If I hadn't invested so much of my time, I wouldn't be watching the show anymore. Like, I don't care. Call got bit. Who cares? Fuck off. The show sucks now. It is. I don't understand why they're. And I don't think there's any coming back. Like, can they save
because like The Walking Dead has not affected me in any way. Like, anybody's death, anything that's happening, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't emotionally. I'm not invested anymore. And I knew that when I watched this other show, *Halt and Catch Fire*, and I got to the end of the fourth season, and I was just like, I actually fucking like had like feelings and emotions tied to this show.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh shit, because the characters were that enthralling. So. Like, when The Walking Dead is like the flagship show that's got the most viewers, and it does not, I don't know, I'm baffled to why people still watch it.
There's nothing there. The characters everything's inconsistent. I'm often confused as to their plans. I don't know. It's just, they fucked it up beyond any kind of saving for me.
Right.
And like you said, it's gone on too long. They need to kill this show. They need to write an ending. They need to pull a Game of Thrones and fucking kill the show, even if Kirkman doesn't want to end it.
Right.
Number 6 in every cinematic shared universe that isn't Marvel.
Now, how many can you name besides the Monsterverse?
There's the Dark Universe.
Yes.
There's Transformers, even though they're making a Bumblebee movie.
Right.
The X-Men's kind of a shared universe.
Okay.
You got you could count Spider-Man Homecoming as like a split universe. What else do we have?
The Monsterverse, which is with King Kong.
Oh yeah, there's the Godzilla Monsterverse. That's actually I think that's doing okay. Like, Kong Skull Island was all right. It did grow the mythology and it had a couple of world building elements.
Right.
That one I'm still on board, but I just feel like people are going to be trying to do this as much in the future, maybe, because it's not as easy as it seems. And as we just saw with Jumanji, like, you could make a great movie and make a lot of money, and it doesn't have to be filled with setup for 7 other movies.
Yeah, I'm still mystified at why people hate The Mummy so much, though.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad. In fact, I watched a lot of movies that I thought were going to be dog shit. And this is my feeling is that when you have a movie that you're looking forward to that's such dog shit, like Justice League.
Right. Well, that's the other shared universe that really struggling.
Yeah. And Suicide Squad and all of these shitty ass movies. And then you watch a movie that everybody says is shitty, and then you're like, okay, watch The Mummy, and you're like, it's shitty, but like, so is this. I'm supposed to, and it made so much money. I'm like, so what's the fucking difference? I watched that Great Wall movie that everybody shit all over.
Yeah, how was that?
It was, I don't know. Everybody tried to make it into a whitewashing thing. It had nothing to do with whitewash. I mean,
why is Matt Damon the one white guy at the Wall of China, and is there a big dragon there?
Well,
don't give it away. I want to watch it though.
No. Basically, Matt Damon. Him and his dudes are out. They're going to the east on the Silk Road to try and find gunpowder.
Oh, okay.
And they have it. So these people are going to the advanced culture, which are the Chinese.
Yeah, okay.
All right. They're not being portrayed as savages or anything like that.
They're being portrayed as the advanced.
Yeah, they have this fucking crazy ass technology and all this shit that they don't have. And Matt Damon isn't even the hero of the movie.
Matt Damon.
The person that ends up doing all of like the heroic shit is actually a woman, and she's Chinese.
Oh, cool.
So he's he has an important role in this movie. We're looking at this movie. He's like the vehicle that we see what's going on in this movie.
What would you score it?
I wouldn't score it that high, but it's definitely like a 6.5.
Better than Justice League?
I would say on par with it, at least. I thought, like, I like the director of this movie. He directed a lot of other movies that were good. So, but this is not his best, but still, like, it was a movie. It was
a movie.
It was a movie. It ended, and then something happened, and it was a complete fantasy. Like, you know, it was kind of like a sci-fi, like, you know, Chinese, like, you know, kung fu movie. You know?
Yeah.
It was weird.
Right.
It was a weird fucking movie.
Check it out. It's on cable now, right?
Yeah, it's on cable. That's the only reason I watched it. It was on HBO. I'm going to watch this shit, see how bad it is with Matt Damon. And I'm like, oh, this is bad, but it's like Transformers bad. You know, like the first Transformers, where it's like you can watch it.
So it's like Michael Bay bad.
It's like ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie. I would say it's the same as Jumanji or any of these fucking movies. It's like, you're not going to put it up and say, this is a great movie. You're just like, I saw it. It was a movie.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sin number 7, Ruggs. This was yours, and I put it in, and it's the hype machine and hashtags.
Yeah. Basically, this is encompassing all of social media and marketing and bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, when a movie comes out, or anything comes out, it's just like the hype is like, you have to try and figure out what the actual truth is, because, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy comes out,
best movie ever.
Best movie ever. This other movie comes out, best movie ever. The greatest movie ever. And then all of a sudden DC movies are pieces of shit before they even hit the screens. Like, all of this stuff is like, it's like hype. It's like
every Marvel movie has been the funniest Marvel movie yet.
Yeah, I hate that.
It really affects the entertainment of enjoying. It affects enjoying these movies. It's really ruining things. And these hashtags they're turning actual legit movements into entitled horse shit.
Yeah, it's like you got the Zack Snyder people that 13 of them show up.
Yes.
It's a thing. Like, it's like all of these things. Like, we're trying to activate people and trigger people and get people to do things and whatever. It's like, just shut the fuck up and let the movie stand on its own.
Yeah, hashtags aren't going to change a fucking thing, people. It's your actions.
Yeah, I mean, like, all of these people are outraged and this and that, or have opinions. Now, like, look, I'm a fucking critic. I have a fucking show. I have fans that listen to me, and they want to know my opinion, so I give it to them.
There you go.
All right? They that's what they tune in for. They don't tune in to hear me fucking just suck the cock of every movie. All right? That's what I do. So, of course, I'm going to do it. But then there's, like some fucking guy scratching his ass that doesn't... I don't know he's not even making a salient point about anything. Right.
Tweets out fucking 2 lines and outrage.
Or like even with Trump, or this is all hype. It's like anything that's happening, it's like Trump's hyping himself, then other people are hyping the other thing, and then you don't even know what to think anymore. It's just a bunch of like just a bunch of noise that's in the air. And I think that movies used to stand on their own. Art used to stand on its own. It used to either be good or not good. And you weren't like you know, when 13 Reasons Why came out, everybody had to watch it because it was so important. And does anybody even talk about it now? No.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like all of these things, like this fake like excitement for things that are supposed to be meaningful, and then all of a sudden no one gives a fuck about them anymore.
Well, you know, the danger of what Trump and this hype is doing with Twitter with language is like it's really destroying everyone's critical thought. It's destroying people's their opportunity to make their own decision. Like it's really damaging, and it's really scary. Because this is what he's doing is what like a dictator does. This is what a fascist dictator does, is turn everything around with the language. And this is the kind of same thing.
But this is everyone.
Yes, but that's
the thing.
It's being
he's
picked up.
He's the ringleader of it. Of course,
absolutely. But it's picked up and regurgitated, and it's starting to spread like a disease.
Right.
People just can't think for themselves.
And it always bugs me when basically It's like the thought police, or like the funniest thing to me is like we don't know who the fuck's on Twitter saying whatever, but I guarantee you that if we fucking went through their lives with a fucking fine-tooth comb, we would find out that they don't know have a fucking leg to stand on in some of this high horse shit. You know, everybody acts like that they're fucking righteous and perfect and they never did anything wrong, and everybody else is an asshole, and who's the moral high ground here, whatever. So it's just crazy that all of these anonymous people are just fucking judging every single little thing without any like thoughts to back it up.
It's crazy.
Or any kind of credibility to what they're saying or anything.
Yeah, that's definitely a sin. All right, good stuff. Good sins and wins. I like this segment, Ruggs. Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that what we should do, but as a society, before we close this out, is that if you think something and you think it's the truth, say it.
Just speak your truth, man.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it.
The revolution will not be televised. All right, before we wrap up, I got a bunch of email and feedback I got to share with you, listener. Starting with a comment from Jason Mumert, who's one of the hosts of the Voice from the Underground podcast. He writes, "Hey man, just listened to a few of your shows. Was catching up. One thing about net neutrality you missed that I wanted to let you know about affects us personally. Everything you guys said was correct, but in addition to it, it is now going to be legal for internet services such as Cox or Verizon or Comcast to charge content providers such as you and I to compete against the big boys. So in other words, the Jock and Nerd podcast and Voice from the Underground will have to potentially pay and compete against the big boy podcasts like Sam Harris or Revisionist History or Lore, or potentially even giants like Facebook. Otherwise, we will have to be on the slower bandwidth while those guys are on the faster lanes. We need to fight this together, brother, tooth and nail. This could be very bad." I agree, Jason. Fuck you, Ajit Pai. Making brown people look bad. But I will be following this story, and I mean
hey, only time's gonna tell.
Only time's gonna tell how much they're gonna fuck us up. Next, we got an email from Wes Cranford, loyal listener, Patreon supporter from Australia. He writes, "Hi all. Well, I've been out of the loop for a while. My first single Christmas and New Year's in 16 years. Anthony, you would have been proud. Boat parties with scantily clad girls, house parties with sex groups upstairs, excessive alcohol, MDMA, bumps, etc. Had to force myself to stay home this weekend and watch Black Mirror. Season 4, episode 2 is great. Anyway, I was surprised you three didn't care for The Last Jedi. I'm sticking to my guns. I found it enjoyable, though I understand why the new millennial doesn't like Star Wars. It is cheesy, always has been, but really, you two old farts should have liked it. I, too, like Punisher and agree with all on that one. I'm enjoying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and look forward to watching new episode. Also, only one more day till Discovery comes back. Excited for that one. Trying to watch CW stuff, but not pushing it. Black Mirror is getting most of my attention now. I can't binge it, though. Each show needs to be digested. Now I'm forcing myself to get back to work. Down under Christmas and summer holidays overlap. Everything literally shuts down. No, not the bars. Been a rough but fantastic month and a half. I'm a mess, though. Time to balance a little. Anthony, you're 30. You'll start to understand. Hangovers will soon become debilitating. Shit, spell that wrong. Well, gotta go. Good day from down under. My favorite part of this email is boat parties with scantily clad girls, house parties with sex groups upstairs, excessive alcohol, MDMA, bumps. That sounds like a good time, Wes.
That's a long email to read.
That sounds like a good time.
Not a lot of it is geared toward the show in any way.
Look, he's checking in. He's had a rough year. He needs to vent. We're here for him. We're here for you.
Okay, that's good. Let's be here for Wes. I'm with you, Wes. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it, dude.
Hang in there, buddy. We'll be here to make you laugh. Finally,
dude, you're gonna feel in about like 6 months. You're gonna feel fucking great. So.
Yes, there you go, Wes. Down under will be great. Finally, we got an email from Jimmy Graben. Happy New Year, fellas. He writes, another great edition of the year-end review. Loved it in capital letters, and thank you for putting that together again. Bellotti said something in this episode that really stuck with me. How you feel about a movie really depends on your mood or mindset at that time in your life. He gave a great example of when he went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I relate that to when I first saw Star Wars Episode 1. I was 11 years old and in the 5th grade. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters and loved every second. Now seeing it as an adult, I realize it is a steaming pile of shit, but I will always have a soft spot for that film. Also, the first time I saw Spider-Man, I was in the 8th grade, and our entire class went out to see that on a Friday night. I remember how stoked my friends and I were. We thought it was the most amazing movie we had ever seen. Still love that movie to this day. I know you three probably have films like that you love as well and have memories, and I would love to hear those. Anthony, don't sweat turning 30, buddy. I'm just a couple of months older than you and already have a wife and kid. You have a lot of time to ask chicks if they want to go to Hooters. Take care, boys. You are the best. Jimmy the Geek.
Deep callback right there.
Oh, yeah. The Hooters. P.S. Just for fun, here's his rankings. At number 6, he has Justice League. Number 5, he has Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 4, Wonder Woman. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 2, Thor Ragnarok, which leaves Logan as his number 1 pick. That's a pretty good ranking. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a movie like that, Ruggs, that it's tied to your childhood that you'll never forget?
I mean, the shit that I watch is the same shit that you watched. I mean, we got Back to the Future.
That was great.
You got Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi, because I saw that in the theater. The original Superman. And I would say Batman the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely Batman 89. Like when he mentioned this, like immediately I have a couple of things that come to mind. One is the first time I think I was in 3rd grade. They took us into the auditorium and I didn't know what was going to happen. And the screen came down, the lights went out, and they showed Willy Wonka and the fucking Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder.
Oh,
and I was like, what is this movie? Like,
right.
That movie I love because of that. Also, funny story, I remember sneaking in with my dad and my sister when we were little. My dad snuck us into Look Who's Talking To. I'll never forget that. And also Poltergeist, because my cousins took me to see Poltergeist when I was 6 years old. It scared the fucking shit out of me. I was too young to see that movie. Yes.
I got one more. I got a couple of movies. All right, there's 3 movies in particular that I went to the theater in different situations. One, I went to go see Pee-wee's Big Adventure with my friend and his mom. Mm-hmm. And this dude's mom was dying through the whole entire movie.
Like laughing or like sick?
Just like uncontrollable laughing. So it made me laugh because I couldn't ever. She was laughing so hard. And Pee-wee's Big Adventure is still a great movie from my childhood.
Love it.
The second one was a little bit older, and I snuck in to see this. It was The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, shit. That's a great movie.
Oh, my God. That movie was so many fucking funny moments in that movie. And I remember I almost pissed my pants laughing that much because there were so many curse words in that shit. Yeah. And it was karate. There was fucking a dragon. There's a dragon lady. It was a weird fucking ass movie. I don't even understand what the fucking movie is about. And then the third movie was Mannequin.
Mannequin?
Yes.
Oh, snap. I used to love the Mannequin movie.
I went to see Mannequin with a bunch of people.
Who was in this? That was, what's that fucking guy's name?
I don't remember who was
Hold on, look it up. Why do you remember Mannequin?
I just remember I saw Mannequin when I was like a kid.
You're like, what is this movie? How come she stops moving when people look away from her?
I don't know why I wanted to see it. It's like I used to watch this. I don't remember the name. I think it's called Today's Special.
Okay.
It was on Nickelodeon. It was about a mannequin that was a dude. And when they shut the store down, like he would come to life and play with like all the toys.
Okay.
Look it up, YouTube.
Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall.
Yes. So I felt like that this was like a movie version of Today's Special.
Okay. And of course, Meshack
was
Taylor.
So adult.
You can't forget Meshack Taylor.
Yeah, and it was like an adult movie with like sex in it and stuff.
I just love the idea of the mannequin, and you kind of wanted a mannequin. You wanted your own woman that would only come alive when you're looking at her and no one else is looking. What a crazy sci-fi fucking setup.
What a fucking weird ass movie.
It was a weird ass movie.
Another one that was great was Short Circuit.
Oh, I love Short Circuit. Short Circuit again for me. He's speaking Urdu in the movie, and I'm like, holy shit, is that a fucking Paki guy? No, it's Fisher Stevens in brown makeup who learned how to speak Urdu. But I thought that was a fucking brown guy for a long time.
We all did.
Also, Return of the Jedi. I have vivid memories of watching that in the theater.
I said that one.
Yeah, when the fucking lightsaber pops out of R2 and Luke catches it. That dude, when you're 8, that's the best fucking thing ever. It's still pretty good. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for writing in. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
Oh, my God. You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugboy. Come say hi.
Or in the nearest alley with the dumpster in the gutter.
Yeah, if you got the right shit, we'll talk.
Follow Really Rugboy on Twitter. Subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts. And most importantly, tell a friend, a listener. Jock and Nerd. Spread the geekery. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Rugboy.
He's the Rugboy.
And he's the nerd.
Hey, we'll catch you next time.
Listen, I want you to meet me in an alley. Bring $1 million in a clear plastic bag. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
That sounds
no
safe.
one will rob us. No one will rob the money.